Here we go. The finals of Red Bull Faster. Afi, Pack, Carl Jr. and Grenadi are ready.
I want to think back to the walk-in where we saw this quote on the wall. It says that this is the place where racing dreams become reality. And for one of these four players, it will be just that, taking home the grand total first prize of 17,000 euros. It's one match away here, Medic.
And I'm sure I can hear that rumbling in the crowd as well. I can hear them getting excited. I can hear them getting ready. I'd love to hear them make some noise as we get ready to jump into the first map of the Red Bull Faster Finals. It's Showdowns to kick us off. See all the friends and family in the audience as well. The warm-up has begun. 90 seconds before we get into the first round.
We'll quickly go through the format. If you have not seen it yet, they are playing with a health bar of 3 seconds each. When that health bar expires, you are out of the running for winning a map. The goal is to win 5 maps. That grants you an automatic claiming of the trophy, but with 8 maps played, you just got to win the most ultimately out of everyone. Also, you lose health based on how far behind the round winner you are.
Yeah, so the thing with Showdown is we have seen people lose a lot of health. If you crash, very easy to lose that 3-second health buffer that you have. So on this map, we've seen more players win via elimination of everyone else than on the other maps. On the other maps, likely we'll get through all the 7 rounds on the map, and then it's who has the most health pool remaining by the end, as we see the warm-up coming towards a conclusion. 38 seconds before we get into this first round.
Yeah, it is so exciting. So much work behind the scenes, production, everyone working on the event, the crowd coming out here, the players warming up, the players trying to qualify but not getting through as well. Everybody who's been a part of this is the culmination of it. Let us enjoy this match. And Milton Keynes, when we hit 10 seconds, please count us down, count us ready. The players gonna feel that energy starting now with 10, 9, 8, 7,
you're too quick.
5, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go!
Warm-ups are over. It's time for the real meat and potatoes. Let's get on into it. Who will come out swinging? Uppy with the good luck, but there's no luck to be bandied around anymore. Let's get into Showdown. Big parts of this map are the bobsleigh, the ice slide, and then obviously that final jump.
Yeah, this is the map that we're kicking off on. Carl picked it, Carl won on it. Offie also won in his semifinal on it. It is one of the most tense maps to play because there's always something happening. There's never any breathing room for the players. As they go out of this upside down part, they have to hit a low air time to get this drift around. Then they're setting up for that bobsleigh part where we know there is a no slide, and Grenadi, one of the players that might opt for that, as he has the steering wheel. You can flick the car into the no slide. No, he opts for slide. Just take it safe. Offie with the best start out of everyone, but they're all within 0.2 here.
Yeah, Pack 2 tenths behind, fell off a little bit in the early start. We'll look towards this next checkpoint. 1.3. Pack's so good at catching up when he falls behind early doors. Now into this left-hand drift, and then we go onto that final jump up through this half pipe. Hitting, we do see turns coming out. Looks like it was Carl Jr. turning around, and he manages to get the lead. 700ths ahead. Uppy went a bit wide at the end there and lost 4 tenths.
So hard to play against. 59.0 to start. You know, everyone little bit shaking loose, getting ready, but that is a great time from Carl. And as you can see by the health bars now, because Carl won, he loses nothing and everyone else loses proportionally the time they were behind the round winner. We will play until there is either no one left with any health or 7 rounds total per map. The one with the most health remaining wins the map. That is how it's going to work. And we are on the map. Carl wanted to play the most, and he started us off with a win. Is he going to be able to build that momentum now?
Well, you have to expect it from Carl, right? He's already up into first place, just ahead of Uppy. Basically nothing between them. 100th between the two as they get through that checkpoint. But Carl with a good low jump now into the bobsled. Grenadi trying to catch up from behind. We'll see if anyone goes for the nose slide. Looks like Carl, Uppy, and Grenadi all slid out. Pack getting a lot of speed though as we get into this dirt section. Down the wall ride, we'll come up into that left-hander, or the right-hander, and then into the left. The final couple of turns on this map. Carl's still leading though. Uppy 2 tenths behind in 4th place. Everyone else basically on as even. We'll see if Carl turns for the jump again. Pack's still trying to chase him down. Carl will get first, and 2 tenths back is Pack, a 58.8.
And that is the fastest time we've seen on this map in the tournament. It's 0.2 only of a second away from the publicly known world record by Mutta. Carl also, in the warm-ups on stage today, was driving some really close records. He said in a dinner. He might even have all the records offline. They're not close to it. So Carl has been keeping his cards close to his chest, and now he's finally revealing the full pace.
I mean, as he always does, it's the reason he's so consistently a winner is not everyone is actually able to keep up with him when it comes to that offline pace. Alfie struggling a little bit through these first couple of maps. He's lost about half his first couple of rounds. He's lost about half his health bar so far. Is out to an early lead here, looking for that bounce. It's what's been his kryptonite over these first 2 rounds. Carl Jr. here as well. Pack about 10th behind, but he's so good at catching up through this middle portion of the map.
Great jump there by Alfie, barely touching the booster at the start of it. Granati, though, with the most speed gain through into the dirt, and now he's jumping high up into the wall, getting early grip. Looks like Carl's going to pass, but the speed carries all the way to the drift setup. Now Carl is going to pass as he gets a better drift, barely ahead. He's looking for 3 rounds in a row, Carl. Granati, though, so close, just a wheel behind him before the jump, and you will see Carl do this turnaround strategy. It's not necessarily faster, but it's consistent, and this time, Granati wins the round because of it. Even faster, by the way.
So fast. 58.75 is absolutely absurd. As you say, about 2/10 away from the world record right now.
3 players on 58 there. This final is off to a crazy start. The pace is unbelievable.
It really is. Only Pack struggling so far in that round. We'll move into round 4, though, as Carl Jr. still in the lead in terms of health bar. You can see under his name, basically untouched so far. Lost a couple of thousandths on that last round. Once again, out to a very small early lead. Just looking to maintain as much speed here. You want the gear up early there before you get into that little depression. Otherwise, you can lose the gear or drop the gear, and it slows you down a bunch as you try and speed back up. Now round into this drift onto the dirt. Low jump for Pack, low jump for Carl as well. Then onto the bobsleigh. Pack getting as much of these icy tires as possible. Wonder if he's going to start looking for the nose slide.
Yes.
He does, and look at the speed. 350s, he comes through the checkpoint, and Pack, who has been struggling, begins to bounce back. Carl Jr. hot on his heels, though, trying to catch up with his longtime teammate, the player he's denied so many times from a world championship in the past. But Pack with a good line into the final corner, should have enough speed. Carl tries to catch him. Granati trying to overtake Carl as well. Those thousands can add up. In the end, it's Pack about a 10th ahead of Carl, about a 10th ahead of Granati.
It's unreal. Pack realizing, man, I'm losing too much health. Already now cranking up the engine to its maximum capacity, his own limits there. Doing the nose slide, and he was on pace for like a 0.5. We might even get close to that public world record. We have 3 rounds left of faster to go. Faster, no. Thank God, we have so much Trackmania to go. Of Showdown, and Carl Jr. still in the lead. Granati is about a couple of tenths behind, so Carl has done successfully on his pick. Is going to try to make it work, but anything can still happen. It's just those tenths of a second.
It really is. The thing is, though, Carl, I think, has about 6 tenths in his pocket, right? He has a substantial lead, so unless he crashes out, people are really going to have to up that pace. We are going to have to be getting down to the 58.5s to really challenge him. Carl has been so consistent. Granati falling back a little bit here. Still going to go for the slide out. Pack was looking for that no slide, didn't get the speed either, didn't keep that gear, so now he's going to be falling back to the back of the pack, and now Carl Jr. in that first place just needs that consistency. It's worked so well for him so many times in the past, and once again he leads the charge. He leads the oncoming cars with what will be a very fast time again.
It's
a
just 58.
58
on repeat here for Carl. Like, it's not a problem. And in the semi, he wasn't doing this. So this is clearly like knowing he should step it up a bit more. But now with 2 rounds remaining, seeing that he's leading by 0.6, as you said, you have to wonder if he's going to start slowing down a little bit. Maybe trying to take it more safe. It's still a lot of pressure, though, to make these adaptations. But they know their limits so well, and no one knows their limits better than Carl.
2 rounds left. Will Carl blink is the question. Will he have a fatal flaw? He doesn't often. You don't often see him fall foul of a situation. And once again, through the early portions of this round, he is playing pretty much perfectly. 2000s ahead of Granati, who's been the one who's been closest to Carl Jr. Hasn't really made any mistakes of his own, but is still losing a 10th or so every round so far. We'll see if someone goes for that no slide. Pack has been playing for it. Does have a lot of speed coming round, but unable to really catch up with Carl Jr. And Grenady through that checkpoint.
Yeah, barely clips the top of the car there against the checkpoint beam. Now on board with Afi as he passed Grenady. Grenady crashed the wall there. That is going to put Carl in an even better lead going into the last round. Probably talking over a second for him to work with. Afi does match him this round. That is a nice run by both players. But Carl has been so unbelievably consistent. I don't even know if he's driven it. It was the 59 in the first round.
Yeah, and then 58, 58, 58.
He's averaging 58.
It's just absolutely absurd. You can see has only lost at like 1/10, 1300ths through this entire map so far, and it is looking like Carl Jr. domination, at least on the first map of the finals. Is there anyone that can face up against this man right now? And even if there is, you have to gain a second, you have to gain a ton. You really need Carl Jr. to make a mistake, and it's close.
This is very bad.
Drops the gear going into that jump.
He got a bounce out because the icy tires, and look at how long this full speed part is. That is about 1 second. I don't know the exact difference for Grenady. I don't know if he's calculated it either. No one expected this mistake, but now Carl has to deliver under even more pressure. The speed is maybe a bit wrong. The line, the timing, the rhythm, it's going worse and worse. You can see the gap increasing. Grenady's just going to full send all out and hope it is enough. I don't know if we know the numbers, but Grenady has a gold opportunity to snipe this away in the very last round.
It's 1.1 right now, a second and a 10th. Grenady looking for a good bounce here. Afi overtaking him at the final hurdle, but it's all between Grenady and Carl Jr. The gap is what matters. Grenady is going to get the bounce in.
What
Carl Jr.
is the
comes
difference?
in as well.
Oh, this is close.
It's 1 second in total. Is that enough? I think Carl Jr. will win it by 3/10 in the end. Close.
Oh my, that was almost heartbreak, because just that tiny bounce out and the mistakes like snowball, you know, because suddenly you're off for the next thing, then the next thing might not work out, and Carl holds on. He wins his own map, and now we're going on to Afi's pick of Downhill. This is one of the maps that Carl has sort of written himself off of. He says that, you know, if the others play their best, he's not going to be able to win that one, but with this form, I don't know if anyone can stop him.
Carl is on such form. We'll have another look at how well he did on Showdown. The one time a god can bleed was that final bit, as you say, with the ice, but still able to catch up enough to stay within that second margin that he did develop for himself over the first 6 rounds.
And just such incredible reaction time. We need to take a look at that round again, because most players, when that happens to their car, would not be able to reel themselves back in on a safe line. So that is massive execution. The fun of Pack hitting that no slide, by the way, incredible. Showing the potential of it if you do it every round. I think, no, it's one more replay we're going to have, and then maybe that round. This is the round where Carl really solidified himself. And here, sliding out for the icy tires, still able to get around the corner and keep it within that second margin.
Yeah, because if he crashes that, you're resetting at the checkpoint.
Any wall hit, and not even
2 seconds at least, right? So that's the edge that these guys play on. We're going to move into Downhill for our second map. Carl Jr., I will say, still undefeated on maps in Red Bull Faster finals, at least.
That's actually true, yeah. He's 4 for 4.
Yeah, 4 out of 4. He's looking to make it 8 out of 8. If he wins 5 in a row, he is our champion. As we are getting through the warm-up, still a minute left on this. Downhill, not as explosive, I would say, as a Showdown, but still some really important bits. You talk about the no slide at the end, making sure you keep the gears. Anything else that you highlight?
Yeah, I mean, it's that, and it's the middle jump where the surface is penalty grass. The surface is effectively lava. You don't want the car to stay on the grass that much. So the players try to tilt the car on the drop down so it wobbles across the grass. It's not slowed down as much, and you actually, for that, can keep a higher gear, which on dirt, if you can drive in 4th gear instead of 3rd gear, it is much, much faster.
It really is. You just get so much more speed. And we saw both the semi-finals, a few mistakes on this map. You know, it was a little bit back and forth, a few people sliding out, a few people missing the flip as well.
Especially this outside bank turn. If your back left wheel is a little bit left too wide, it can hit a rock, it can hit the fence, and that was also the jump where you get that tilt down on the grass. This middle part, pretty problem-free. The players are going to be able to maneuver this nicely. The quarter pipe jump, though, we saw cause some problems because you really want to go low.
Yeah, because you're going low, you can clip those front wheels very easily, get bounced up out of it. Pack fell foul of that a couple of times, but let's jump into it. Downhill for what could be, well, what is the final time here at Red Bull Faster into the first round. Everyone obviously very close to the first couple of checkpoints, just trying to maintain as much speed as you can, keep fourth gear around this corner and then into the drop down, minimize airtime as much as possible. Here, the outside line important, but we can see a little bit of speed being lost there, perhaps a gear being lost by Carl Jr.
Yeah, he did not get the outside line you want, but let's move our attention up into the field and see if the other players get Offie very close to the rock. They all go for the tilt, but Pack has it better, should be able to catch up to the others. Now up to that mountain bike jump. They all try to jump off the side of the ramp so they can land earlier. Same for this drop down and onto the side of the grass there over the corner so that the car gets grip immediately. Quarter pipe jump looks good for all three. Offie going a bit wide though. You want to reach the right side for no airtime. Grenadier up in the lead, and now pay attention to how carefully he's going to try to steer the car in this last part. No slide on the first part, then a speed slide, jumping into a new no slide, stop, and then a speed slide. But Pack up front does it even better, and he's the one to win this first round.
That backflip into the end was just absolutely absurd for Pack. He flew by everyone. Carl losing about a second and a half, maybe even 2 seconds looking at it right now. 2/3 of his life bar are gone. I know he said that this wasn't a map that he was really enjoying, but still, seeing someone like Carl who dominated the first map lose that much already is an incredible sight. So Pack, Grenadier, and Offie really fighting for their lives here, trying to get that second win, trying to get themselves on the board here in the Red Bull Faster Finals.
Yeah, and I mean, even with this, you shouldn't count out Carl, but I think he knows that he should rather put his attention to maps he thinks he can win, because even with a lot of practice on a map like this, winning the map is insane. You have to be the best player in the world, and I think the favorite stamp could go to Grenadier on this one. As
Offie
no
drops
sliding. Yeah, Offie must have hit the side there, gets a slowdown. That is a big time loss, and again we see Pack in the lead up front.
Yeah, Pack and Grenadier really fighting it out between themselves now for that top spot. Pack looking for the low jump here. Sometimes he clips. Offie 1.4 seconds ahead. Carl's going to go into the last chance mode as well, already losing 7/10. Pack has such a good low jump here. Grenadier's going to follow suit.
Might catch up
over the penalty grass, as you say. He's got a little bit more speed, but it's all about the no slides. He does slide out. Pack able to maintain more speed through this section. Grenadier will catch him at the final bit, but still a 10th behind. Carl Jr. actually, I think, has held on to his last chance. Yeah, we'll have 2/10 in his health bank.
And this is going to be disastrous for his win streak. It might come to an end here. It's very low, down in the last 0.2 of a second. Pack flaws so far, 2 in a row, and we're seeing pace of the mid 58s. And a little bit higher, 58.8. We know the world record is a 57.8 by Mudda, but that is if you get every no slide to perfection, and that is only something you can do with weeks of time attack.
Yeah, the time attack is obviously such a different game than these rounds that we are playing. Grenadier falling down a little bit at the start of this, about a 10th and a half, as Carl Jr. able to maintain through the first portion. It's the first time we've really seen him up with that leading section through this part of the map. Gets a good bounce through the penalty grass there as well, minimizing the time his wheels are sitting on that grass because it reduces your speed a ton. Pack still chasing him down. Offie in the lead by about a 10th himself. Grenadier still within shouting distance as well, only 2/10 behind. A lot of it's going to come down to how well they manage this half-pipe jump. Everyone gets through it so low though there for Grenadier. And now the backflip, low and fast is the strategy. Offie very fast through that. Pack's going to lose some speed because he went quite high, but Grenadier unable to catch him now through this section. Grenadier is so fast, but Offie should have enough of a lead. Maybe Grenadier catches Carl. Not quite. Offie with a 58.4. That is blistering.
That is blistering. And Pack in last there means that Grenadier and Pack will now be quite close on the leaderboard. Only 0.1 or so, 0.15 between them. Offie then about a second behind, and Carl now is down to the last chance, meaning he has to win all remaining rounds from now to stay in the field, and even then would have to have the others go down to 0. It's a tough way for him to win this map.
Yeah, considering he hasn't won a round on this map yet in this finals as well, it's going to be very tricky for him. He'll fight for it though, but might want a little bit of a breather. Pack there, really low jump, a little bit of a wiggle as well before he got into it. Offie hits the penalty grass, so he is basically out of this round, is already 8/10 behind. Still has about a second and a half in his life pool. Carl going a little bit wide, almost clipping there, but able to hold on to it. Pack still in the lead, about a 10th ahead himself. Grenadier trying to catch him. We'll go through this mountain biking section. Very low jumps onto this. and nothing between the two of them. Now, into the quarter pipe.
Grenady low, he's going to clip a bit, but it's fine. It doesn't cost the speed loss. It does let Pack slip away a little bit though, and now both get a low flip. We've seen them be very equal on this last part. Grenady should have the theoretical advantage with that steering wheel. He gets a better first landing. He gets a nose slide here. He can catch. This is close. This is very close, but Pack by 1/100th of a second holds on.
17 thousandths between the two. Carl Jr. eliminated for the first time today. Could not win 5 maps in a row. He will take a little breather as we move into the next round here. Between the two, it is 2/10. Uppy in last chance as well. It's all just going to come down to that 1v1 you have to feel. Unless Uppy can pull something magical out of a hat, we'll jump into round 5. 3 to go here on downhill.
And there is still that outside dirt turn that could cause a spanner in the works for either of the players that have been flawless so far. This outside dirt turn number 2 is very tricky. Uppy is out, clipping the first mountain biking block, and now we'll probably have a 1 versus 1, but Pack is already pulling away by 0.2. Grenady could look to make a comeback. This is very scary, trying to balance the car properly and get the bump. He doesn't fully get the bump he's looking for. Pack should gain about another few hundredths or so, but say that, Grenady's reeling him back in.
Pack slid a little bit coming out of those turns, so just lost a little bit of speed as we went into the mountain bike section. Now we're going to go back up into that quarter pipe. Pack has, oh, that was so low from Grenady, and you can see he's breathing down the neck of Pack right now. The German overtaking through the backflip section, and Pack now has to catch up. A high jump for Pack. Will have a little bit less speed. Grenady just needs to no slide through here. Pack cutting the corner, but Grenady has the lead.
Huge damage.
3/10, massive damage, as you say.
And that might put Grenady on top again. It was 0.2. He wins by 0.2. So yeah, by a few hundredths. Grenady has put himself in first.
It's 700ths, man.
After 5 rounds of play,
0.07 between the two of them.
And flawless for both. They haven't crashed. They haven't even made like anything you could call a mistake. It's just some inaccuracies, but that is to be expected. We're all human. But now these last 2 rounds, it's basically equal. Whoever drives best in these 2 rounds takes the map.
Here we go. The first player in a round with Carl Jr. in it to take a map off him while he has been racing. Pack was dominant for the start of his semi-final. Grenady had to fight back.
Look at the starts for Pack
as well. Pack out to such a strong lead, 2/10 his advantage, but now we get through this long corner. Don't clip. Grenady fell foul of that in his semi-final with the bounce across here. Pack sliding a little bit once again. Grenady's going to catch a bit through the mountain biking section, but Pack still has about a 2/10 lead coming through the checkpoint, up to 3. And now Pack has gone a little bit too low on this jump a couple of times, takes it a bit harder. Grenady's wheels were just stroking the grass as he came over the verge now into the backflip. Pack still in the lead, will jump up here onto the dirt section and should be able to hold on to the advantage for now. It's going to be a massive lead for Pack as it's a big gain actually for Grenady at the end, 2/10 and the advantage.
Insane times, I have to say. Like, think about this track was played by over 20,000 players in the qualifier in the first couple of weeks. Getting a 58.2 puts you already in the top 20 times in the world. Incredible stuff to do that on stage here. And that gives him a little bit to work with going into the last round. Now you can see Pack has 1100ths to his name, and we will see if he can keep those 1100ths in his favor against one of the best dirt players in the world here of Grenady.
I might be wrong, but I think it's a 10th between the two of them. I guess that is 1100ths. You're right. Yeah, I'm just in my brain that didn't work the way it did. But now,
Grenady has matched Pack's start. This is where he gained most of the time against Grenady in the previous 2 rounds. So from here on out, Grenady has been driving equal to, or even perhaps a bit faster than Pack in previous rounds. Here he is ahead. Let's see if he can make use of it.
But Pack drives when he's behind. You've seen him catch up so many times through the course of today. Now he's going to look for this low jump. Don't clip the wheels. Both of them through. But look at the speed from Pack getting towards Grenady into the backflip. Both of them go forward. Pack so high. Grenady, it's ripe for the taking. It's prime real estate, and all he has to do is get through these final couple of corners. Half a second back for Pack. It's Grenady who comes through and takes the second map of the finals.
And he holds it, and what a hard-fought map. 2 players, 7 rounds in a row, no mistakes, but 1 slightly missed input before the flip. You go too high, and Grenady can capitalize, taking the map, and a very important start to the match for him, coming off with a win.
And we'll be moving into the next map in just a moment's time. It's Pack's choice as well, Circuit. The back and forth between these three now is going to be intense. Uffy hasn't had the best start so far, but you have to feel he can start to strike back. We'll have another look at some of the replays here.
Yeah, this is the first round on the map. We saw most of the players get off to a good start. Carl, though, had that early mistake and was never really able to come back afterwards. Then a lot of close rounds to follow. A little bit more action from Carl through those, but ultimately the first get eliminated. High flip from Pack there also, showing that it might have been a continuing issue through the match, not being able to get that low flip consistently, and then ending up in this exciting 1v1, the snipe as well from Grenady. This health that he gained here was decisive.
Yeah, it really was. Obviously, at the end, Pack struggling a little bit on that final lap gave Grenady all the extra time he needed, but
the 0.2 is insane. It's really, really impressive.
So fast from Pack. You see that final, the high jump from Pack just costing him. And here, I mean, 58.6 as well for the final round is just absurd. These guys so consistently good, so consistently strong. And now we're going to move into map 3. It is Circuit. It is Pack's pick. It's something he is incredibly comfortable on.
I mean, if we just think about the average lap that he drove in the semifinal, I think we were looking at 54.0. I didn't do the math, but 54.0 or 54.1. That is only 0.4 of a second off the world record average every single round. That means, like, I mean, in darts, you're probably scoring 180s really, really consistently. In basketball, it's like hitting almost every three-pointer. Like, it is just stellar precision on and on and on. And if you cannot follow that pace, he's going to take this map.
He is. I think Carl Jr. will be there trying to challenge him at the top. Both of them just tech extraordinaires. Uffy and Grenady will be trying to fight from a slightly disadvantageous position, but you know, both of these guys have shown just how good they are to get to this finals. Grenady taking map 2 as well in the downhills. He'll be very happy, has the momentum on his side. 40 seconds before we get into map 3. Will we see the first 3 maps go in different directions? Grenady's got to win, Carl's got to win. Will Pack be the third? Will Uffy be the third? And somehow, after losing on his own map pick, managed to bounce back and take away Pax.
I mean, I have the script right here, Medic, and according to it, there is a possibility that we could have...
Does that say Mufat wins?
Well, it could, but it also says there's a possibility that we could have 4 players on 2 map wins each, and it's a 4-way sudden death match to decide the tournament.
4-way sudden death on Showdown to decide the tournament.
That would be incredible. We have a bit of ways to go there. Let's see who takes this. We're ending the warm-up. We're starting Circuit. We're getting back into the action. Pack chose this map. He dominated his semi. We also saw Carl win in his semifinal. Now they're both here facing off against Grenady and Uffy as well. And we are underway on board with Pack.
Yeah, really big things in this are the gear in the final turns, whether you go for the wide line. A lot of the start is about small optimizations, you know, minimizing airtime, making sure your drift is at the right angle so you're hitting the apexes, using this bit of airtime to get a good drift down into here, and then
look at the differences.
So close, everyone within 500ths of each other. Carl Jr. now a 10th behind, but his Pack out to that lead, drifting up around the left. Use the penalty grass usually on the inside here just to slow yourself down a little bit, but you don't want to slide out all the way. Carl, not often he is looking at the back of the cards. Huge no slide, as you say. Doesn't get the drift, and now it's between Grenady, Uffy, and Pack. Grenady taking the wide line, looking for the upper gear.
He has it. He's going to gain a lot. He's going to gain everything.
Is it enough? He overtakes. Uffy 7,000s behind. Pack 500s behind. Carl Jr. brings up the rear.
You should never underestimate, like, if you hear the 4th gear there, you know the gains are coming in. Like, you're just waiting for that sweet payoff, and the finish line is so far away if you have the 3rd gear. You're like, man, I can't wait for this one to be... Then, yeah, Grenady, all of that was worth 7,000s.
But Carl Jr. lost 8/10ths.
That is huge. Like,
especially on this sort of map,
One no slide on this map is very costly. You're going to see these differences probably all throughout the map, and it's a treat to watch because it's so close to perfection. World record at 0.7, as we mentioned, so only 0.3 of a second away is the best they could do in weeks of time attack.
It is so impressive generally. Carl's once again looking at the rear spoilers of these cars. Uffy out to that lead. Pack and Grenady still reeling him in, keeping him close. A 10th between the top 3. Carl Jr. so much speed through here. Hits the drift early though.
Oh, big airtime.
A lot of airtime, goes back down, doesn't get the nose side this time, manages to hit that drift. Grenady catching up with Uppy, Pack just a little bit ahead. Once again, as you say, going for that gear. He has it. He's got so much speed.
It's first place.
Grenady's going to overtake them all again.
It's so incredible, and I think it is faster on paper, but Pack and Uppy, they don't want to chance it, so they go for the lower gear. It's more predictable, but you will, on paper, probably lose 500s, and that is what Grenady does every time. He takes those 500s, and is still in the lead.
A 10th behind him right now. It's close, you know. Pack is just behind, Uppy's just behind. Carl, obviously, because he lost almost a second on the first round, is sitting at about half HP in total. We'll see if Carl can bounce back, because this is the sort of map you'd expect him to shine on, and he has been struggling. After picking up map 1 of the finals, he really didn't enjoy downhill, and now he's not enjoying circuit either. He's a momentum-based player. He likes it when he's winning, but when people start to fight back, he can struggle just a little bit here. Uppy is the one in 4th place. Pack, Grenady, and Carl Jr. leading the charge.
Bit of airtime for Uppy is why he's down here 2 tenths behind, and it looks like such a big gap on a map like this. Onward with Grenady now, who's chasing down Pack. We know he has those good endings, and momentum, as you say, plays a big role. He's hit the upper gear twice now. The gap is bigger than ever, and we might see Pack take this one, but Grenady's going to go for it, and unfortunately, this is very costly. This is the price you pay. You go close to the wall there. That is a second that you have to pay.
I mean, that's all his good work unraveled. He just falls apart in front of him. He's now down, sitting with Carl.
And unnoticed on the leaderboard there, a 53.912 by Pack, less than 2 tenths from the world record, and the fastest time we've seen on this map all day. Also, incredible stuff up front.
Pack absolutely driving out of his mind. I think he would have wanted to win out on downhill, wasn't quite able to do it, and now he's trying to take his map pick. We'll see. Grenady and Carl Jr. need people to make mistakes. Uppy and Pack still fighting for that top billing. We're in round 4 of 7. Uppy, though, begins to fall behind, and Pack will hungrily be looking at this and saying, well, all I have to do is keep Uppy back that distance, and there's no one really who can challenge me for the rest of this map. Pack still in the lead. Uppy trying to catch up. Carl Jr. taking a slightly inside line there. It's going to have a lot of speed coming through this next section. You can see he overtakes Pack, goes wide, has to recorrect. Pack evens out the score. Long drift, low airtime from Carl Jr. though, as he takes a close, tight line. Pack overtakes him just a little bit, but into this final drift, this is where it all counts. Both of them will look for that lower gear. Grenady trying to catch up behind them. It's Pack in the lead, followed closely by Carl, then Grenady, and Uppy 3 tenths behind.
And Pack's trying to work on his stat line here. It's another 53-second run, just making the sub happen. Carl a 54.02 there. And as we see the leaderboard now, Pack still has about 0.6 of a second, a little bit less, 0.56 if you want to be accurate, to work with for the last 3 rounds. Uppy, the closest opponent. But if Pack also makes a tiny mistake, then we really have a game on our hands.
I mean, 100%. Pack still needs to be consistent, but he does have a little bit more safety to work with. Let's see if he does anything spicy here, or if it's just all standard. A bit of a tighter line around that corner means he won't have quite as much speed going into this next section. But he's happy enough being in 3rd. As long as everyone's close by, Pack is happy as Larry right now.
He is, and he's up in 1st. If that wasn't good enough, the lead he has. Uppy, though, able to pass him, and he is the closest opponent. As we see Grenady now in 4th, but he has more speed into the downhill, just on the side of the grass there. Carl missing the approach, going a little bit late. Grenady hitting it nicely and actually getting towards the opponents, maybe even pushing for another 1st place. We know he's going to try that upper gear, and I know the crowd loves it. Is Grenady going to get the wide line here? Let's listen in. He has to. No, he dropped it. He dropped the gear, and that means this round goes to Pack once more.
Yeah, once again, Pack leading the charge. Grenady, as you say, like 2 tenths behind, and that's the cost of it, right? He has to go for it now. He's already a second, basically, behind Pack in total health bar. But now, as we get into the final 2 rounds, it is really Pack's to lose. We will have 3 different winners of the first 3 maps here in the finals. Only Uppy will be left out in the cold, and maybe we'll see him bounce back on Climb as we get into map number 4.
But let's remember Showdown. It can change so quickly. Carl had Showdown on lock, was driving 58th every lap, and then suddenly something didn't go the way he planned, and it was almost just completely over in that moment alone. So all pressure on Pack now. He's been good for 6. He needs to go all the way to 7, and we'll see if he can do that this round. His slowest start yet, and anytime something changes, anytime something isn't what you're expecting, the pattern you're expecting, that is when you can get in your head about it. And this is also where it's really important to reel yourself back in, to know you're on the line you've planned out for weeks and weeks and weeks.
It's about a tenth and a half behind right now as we come through that checkpoint. Grenady there as well on top of him. So Carl Jr. and Afi fighting it out for first place, but Pack has been able to catch up a little bit through the drifting section. Back under a 10th, 800ths, goes for that inside line again, not looking for the upper gear, just wants consistency. And by avoiding the tire wall, yes, he ends in third. 2/10 is his loss, but Grenady is still behind him, so it's only Afi who's catching up.
The difference is going to be, yeah, over half a second here in favor of Pack in the last round. Actually just under, or not, actually just over. The maths are hard, but driving is easy for these guys, and so we'll just get to enjoy the last round of Circuit. Pack, he picked this map. He wants to make it worth his choice. Can he win it now in the last round here and put himself on the board?
He's just been so good at driving consistently through this map. We'll see. Gets this drift, a little bit of a wide setup, wants to be parallel to that arrow as he jumps out. Grenady with a good angle as well. Now Pack is in fourth, but he's very happy being in fourth. He has the map in the bag, assuming nothing untoward happens through these drifts. Almost halfway through now. Nice wide setup here, going round towards this left-hander. Will drift it, takes that close line, and then a long left. Touch that penalty grass, lose a little bit of speed. Make sure you don't slide out. It's perfection so far for Pack. He is doing everything he needs to. A bit of a high jump there compared to usual, but he doesn't really mind because everyone's still on top of him. No one has gone too far away, and it's Pack's for the losing. Just avoid the tire wall, and he does it perfectly. Pack secures the map. It's 3 winners in 3 here in the Red Bull Faster Finals.
And he made it look effortless. That was a 54.06 by him, and it looked like he was chilling, you know? Yeah. He wasn't taking the greatest risks, keeping it tight, keeping it great, and he will win a map. Now we have 3 players with 1 point each, and this was really just what we saw in the semis. Round 2, right? Like, he just repeated the dominance.
Oh, for Pack, yes. Yeah. 3 winners in 3 was not what we saw in the semis.
But yeah, circuit performance, rather.
Great performance by Pack overall. I think you kind of expected him to be able to do this, but the question is, can he find that form on other maps as well? Obviously, he did in the semis. We'll have another look at some of these replays. Very close. We talked a lot about that gear. It did matter for Grenady, but in the end, just a few mistakes. That wall bounce, obviously.
That wall touch cost him, and for Carl as well. You know, if you crash one of the early rounds, it just kind of sets you at this feeling of, man, I cannot come back now.
Yeah, especially on a map like Circuit, where the gaps are tenths rather than, you know, these large fight, like half a second or so. So the question is, when we move on to something like Climb, whether those small mistakes, they can compound a lot, but also you can come back from them a lot better, because if someone misses a jump, they're losing 1.5 seconds, whereas here you are losing half a second.
And Grenady is the only player, I think, that we've seen play Climb here on stage. Yeah, the next map coming up, he picked this map, and I think Pack didn't play it because he won too quickly. Also, Carl won too quickly, and Afi, it was just around the corner, but he closed it out before they got there. So for many, this is going to be obviously a map they practice, but it is something else to play it on this route.
Oh, it's such a great map to watch as well. The intricacies of it so important. There's a lot of places where keeping the gear is something that you don't really think about too much, because you're thinking about, let me avoid that wall, but actually having the gear ups in the right position here are vital, especially as you get onto that dirt jump. So Pack crashing out there on his warm-up. He's still got a minute though, so we'll see if he can complete. Well, we're not actually watching him at the moment. We're watching the players get ready. I'm looking at the wrong screen, you know?
Yeah, we're looking at laser-focused players.
Full-on
so
focus.
much on the line. I mean, these guys have competed in Trackmania for years and years, and knowing that this is the 2nd largest Trackmania tournament ever in terms of prize pool, and also in terms of hype and how much there's been around it, live audience, you know, this certainly is important to them. This is what they put all their perfection into. When it matters, get these runs, and when that orange timer ticks down to 0, it's go time, and everything you've worked for comes down to 7 simple rounds.
Oh, it's just absurd when you think about it. Climb, though, let's have a look at where we are going in terms of average times. Like 53 to 54 is a really good time here. Mudder holding the world record until earlier today when it was broken by Carl Jr. He hit a 52.78. I believe, in practice.
That is where it stands right now, and we will see. I mean, this is a map that I think about as like a survival map. It's based on Deep Tip 2. You're supposed to feel that it's difficult to scale these precarious paths up around our tower, which now is a beautiful Red Bull can. it's all inspired by the event. And so the players have to do their best to just stay on the track, because if you pay attention to the tires and the ledges here, the margins are very, very small. It already starts here in the middle of the track where they do an alley-oop through the checkpoint, and Pack is going to clip a little bit. Not the biggest mistake. It's important you get a low jump up the quarter pipe here, and no, he barely makes it.
A great jump from Pack, though. Overtakes Carl Jr. and Grenadi, who went for a little bit of a higher jump. Uppy here trying to get onto that dirt early, and with Pack just sliding out a little bit, Carl Jr. and Grenadi will overtake him as well. But you can see how big the differences are, how big those gaps are between the players. 2 tenths, 3 tenths, 7 tenths. It's so easy to lose a lot of time on a map like Climb. And now with this backup jump into the reset, we'll see who keeps the gear. Uppy has good speed, jumps into the can. Carl Jr. with a lower jump that will catch up a tenth at the end. Pack 6 seconds down. He's in last chance saloon already.
Yeah, instantly down that health bar. It was already very, very scary in the start, and he made it work with the quarter pipe jump, but another mistake later and it cost you. We saw Grenadi one wheel off the red plastic, clipping, but reacting in time and adjusting. That's what it's all about. Also, that last jump up into the can, very difficult to time it properly, because you're aiming over an edge and trying to get just into the finish as soon as you can.
Did Pack go too wide there?
Yeah, he lost a little bit of time. So this might already be him in danger. Of course, when you're in final chance, you have to win the round to stay in. So getting past one car is not really enough. You got to pass everybody.
It's also only the middle of that portion they go through is a reactor. The outsides are reverse boosters. So Pack was just able to course correct and get into the reactor. Currently sitting in 4th place, though, not able to catch up quite yet. Uppy leading Grenadi with a little bit of airtime. He's going to be out of the running for this one. We'll see how much time he loses as he gets through that next checkpoint. Carl Jr. trying to chase down Uppy. Pack hot on his tails, but Uppy is in a good position, leading once again. Grenadi 1.5 seconds back. He's going to lose about half his life. Uppy with good speed coming out of the reset, manages to get through the obstacles. A low jump here for him would be perfect.
Pack is unfortunately out.
Pack was out anyway because Uppy is through. Grenadi loses 1.5 seconds. Uppy consistently getting 1st place, and Carl Jr. hot on his heels.
Yeah, big damage to half the field now. Only Carl really able to follow Uppy in these first couple of rounds, and a 53.2 as well. Fantastic time by Uppy. Not at all easy to drive this map, as I'm sure you can see by how much the best players in the world are struggling.
I'm just like, Uppy is playing the best on this map. We had Carl Jr. win, then we had Grenadi win, then we had Pack win. There's no way we have 4 different winners.
I mean, we talked about the script earlier, and the script wants it. We'll see if it happens, if it's fated for the most insane last round of a tournament on sudden death. But for now, we will just see where the players end up. Everyone's had their moment. Uppy is building up to a great lead right now, also getting a good start into this round. A 25-second checkpoint there. So what you want to see now, releasing a little bit up this jump so you keep the second gear on the landing, then flick left instantly to the right so you have enough space to get that next turn. Grenadi leading the field, also barely clipping the wheel there, but he's able to stay on. They drift,
so quick,
and Uppy is passing Carl before the turnaround. Then this last transition is so important. Pay attention to this jump here. If you land early, you'll have the speed. Grenadi likely to snipe here. He gets it by 200ths.
Uppy a 10th behind in 3rd place. Carl Jr. and Uppy really fighting for that 1st spot. We are just about to get to the halfway mark of this map, and it's basically 3 tenths in it. Grenadi needs people to crash. He's down to 1 second left on his total life total. But let's get into the next round, because every moment, every step, every small move of the wheel here is vital. Look how low they jump here, almost clipping, and then almost clipping again in the middle for the reactor, so you can get up onto this quarter pipe and then round this corner. You need to hit the drift. It's such a small target you're aiming for. You can see Grenadi there with the taps to make sure. And
Uppy's going to be out of health. That is too much. The checkpoint is far away. He crashed just before the next checkpoint, and so 5 seconds is the damage, and the other players will know. But who is going to now take this opportunity and jump up into 1st? It could be either Grenadi or Carl, but Carl looking the very best out of the 2 right now.
It's definitely a good spot, but Grenadi has the lead, at least in this round so far. 2 tenths his advantage. We'll go into this small back flick position, small release before you hit the jump, so you can keep that gear. Grenadi is accelerating away. Good bounce across towards the side. Both of them going low. Carl Jr.'s entry is slightly better, so he catches up, but still a 2/10 advantage for Grenadi on that map.
That's what we talk about with the wheels. Uppy's left set of wheels just slightly off the left side of the alley-oop, and that means instantly into the red. This map is so unforgiving, and it's actually astonishing how consistently they can drive it, despite the difficulty in the position.
For Uffy, though, there is a small ray of hope. This is the sort of map where people do crash. Like, people might, I say that Uffy's out. He immediately DNFs.
Might crash, Medic. You did just predict that, and yeah, unfortunately, it is Uffy twice in a row, which in this format you cannot afford. Carl with a bit of an awkward setup. Grenady going wide as he usually does, and now who gets the best alley-oop? It's Grenady catching up a little bit. Also going earlier, he clipped the wheel a bit, but that can be good. Clipping the tire onto the ledge, and he extends now up to 0.1 ahead of Carl. Gonna try to release earlier, get more speed up the dirt. He does get less airtime, and then can flick into the left, and he has to regain the first position. But now, a gear down up the hill. Grenady will gain 2/10 from that and run away with a lot of time here for someone who is in second place in this match right now.
I mean, Grenady needs big swings like this. He needs 4/10, 5/10 if he's going to catch up. He's only got 3 rounds to do it. Carl's low jumps, though, into the end have always been gaining him about a 10th. So it's only a 3/10 difference overall. Uffy out, knocked out of the last chance, means we will have one player with 2 wins going into our 4th map. The question is it Carl Jr. or is it Grenady?
You have to wonder if this is within range. It's less than a second, and if you try to safe on this map, you will be very slow. The corners are sort of built in a way where you kind of have to take them at full speed.
I 100% think it's within range. Like, that was 3.5 tenths. The last one is about an 8/10 difference in total. We'll see how much Grenady decides to push, because already he's out to about a 10th lead. Carl Jr.'s end gains him back about a 10th, and his quarter pipe there gains him back a ton. He's taken the advantage away from Grenady now into the alley-oop. Nice and close. Grenady clips. It does rotate him a little bit. He's not going to lose too much time. Drew that into the quarter pipe jump. Grenady very high. Carl Jr. with about a 2/10 lead overall. Through the plastic, steer with it, and then jump up onto the dirt. Grenady has been getting some speed through here, and you see him do exactly that. Any gear downs on the plastic. Grenady about a 10th behind, 800th. The advantage for Carl Jr., but Grenady needs it to be so
what a drift.
more. Great drift from Grenady. Carl Jr., though, still hot on his heels, only a 10th behind. And unless Grenady can find something special, Carl Jr. with the inside line will actually pip it.
What a round.
On the finish line, a 53.5 200ths in it.
Yeah, and it's the same gap about that remains into the last round here. Carl versus Grenady, 1v1. They both have to drive the best lap they can. Grenady, though, needs a miracle, because even a great lap is likely not going to gain that much to make up the difference to Carl. So he's almost hoping that Carl makes a mistake here.
Yeah, you got to wish that Carl crashes out.
Oh, Grenady crashed!
Carl
Grenady crashes the first jump, and now Carl should know this on the splits at the next checkpoint. He typically checks between when he has room, and the difference is 1.6 seconds. So now the adaptation has to happen. A little look there on his eyes down in the bottom left corner knows the difference on the splits, and so this is just a tense lap where you're really telling yourself, don't mess up, don't mess up. This is what we practice, don't mess up. That's a little bit of a time loss. It's not all, but 1 second still in his favor.
The thing is, even if Grenady catches up the 1 second, he needs more on top of that. He needs so much.
A wheel clip, like
if Carl messes up, if Carl drives off the track, Grenady could catch back up. It's a second right now.
Last jump.
Carl only has to go down and up again, and then
high
with the low jump into the RedBull can. He clips the side, but Carl Jr. will secure his 2nd map of the finals, almost halfway towards having that championship, having that trophy in his hands.
And you should have seen his reaction there on the other monitor, Medic, because he was shook by that last clip, because that was how Pac went to 0 HP. He missed that jump and didn't go into the RedBull, and that is why he was instantly losing all his health. So that was so close, actually, to going wrong. But Carl is now in the full lead of the final with 2 maps to everyone else's. Or Grenady and Pac's 1 and Uffy's 0.
2 to 1 to 1. We're going to have another look at some of the highlights of that. Pac fell out relatively early on, was driving well, but all it takes is a couple of mistakes, a clip here, a clip there, and you're basically
This is the mistake, yeah, that Pac had, and it's so punishing because you're right there, you're upside down by the finish, but you don't get the lap counted. Uffy started out so strong on this map. The script had him winning the map as well, so we had everyone on 1, but one small mistake there, followed by the early mistake here. The players were talking about at the start of Climb is suspiciously difficult because, yeah, you have to go close to the barriers on the plastic. That's also how Grenady failed in this final round, and what ultimately let Carl have this tense safe lap to claim the map.
Carl's been in that position so many times before. Finishes it up. Lands, has a little bit of a drink of the Red Bull. You can see he was scared, scared for a minute, able to close it out in the end, though. Resetting as we get into Splash for our 5th map. This is a Grenade pick. After that, Aerobatic, then Rooftops, then Alpine to round things out. And I'm just going to say it, like, unless Carl wins the next 3, we are going all the way to 8. We will see the champion decided by who has the most wins after 8, unless someone gets to 5 before then.
Do you like after 8?
I love after 8. It's minty deliciousness.
I wish we could go to 9. I wish we could get all the maps played and a bonus. Why not throw it in there? Right, for that to happen, we need Grenade now to get another win on his map pick here. Splash is the next map going to be. And ladies and gentlemen, what a start to this grand final.
Oh, just incredible so far. It has been breakneck. It has been on the edge of your seat stuff, and now we move into one of the most explosive maps in the tournament, right? All we have seen on Splash is people absolutely battering the side of the final checkpoint.
Yeah, the finish jump here is also suspiciously difficult, or like deceptively rather difficult, because you need a very specific car rotation to get a high enough bounce from that inflatable pillow on the water. If you don't get that, it could be the same case as on Climb, instantly taking out your entire health bar.
World record here set by Mudder, 857.85. Expectations are mid-58s, really, right? Especially on a map like this where you have bug slides, where you have the risk of smashing into the buoy like that. You really want to play a little bit safer, and the sand section as well can be a little bit tricky, trying to get as much speed through here as possible.
Yeah, it's a map that, again, we have maps that are so different in style. We had now a deep dip-inspired map, and now we're on the beaches. Driving on sand with reactors and water bug slides. To become the Red Bull Faster champion, you need to master everything this game has to offer. These players have all done that, and now we will see in the 7 rounds who takes the point on this one, but Grenade really wanted to play it.
Grenade, I mean, you say he really wanted to play it. It was the last map left in the pool, Wirtual.
He really wanted to play it.
He really wanted to play it. He had to pick something, and this was the only possibility. We saw the wall bounce there from Afi. He will be out to a little bit of an advantage, but Carl Jr. with a good quarter pipe gets the speed back up. Now we move across the water into the surfing section. Grenade, he really wanted to play this, and he really wants to watch everyone else ahead of him right now as he's 2 tenths behind. Over the super turbos into the bug slide, turning left here. We'll see if anyone decides to use the different angle we saw from Elcon. Doesn't look like it. Pack and Carl Jr. with a good setup, though will have enough speed to get onto the boat. Grenade a little bit behind. Everyone lands, the jump gets up onto that turbo, and now we move into the sand section.
Always so scary on the ferry jump there, but on the sand we see Pack getting away with the lead. Afi close behind, but there's only 1 turn remaining, and the terrifying bounce on the inflatable following Carl here. Let's see if all the players get it. You have to tilt the car, the front tire down, so you can bounce high.
Oh, Grenade!
Grenade missed the finish, and that is what we talked about. It is so deceptively difficult. Instantly, the health bar wiped out, and maybe he didn't want to play this map.
It's just an angle thing at the end of the day, right? Like, hurts for Grenade. We might see him out in 2 rounds. If he doesn't win from now on out, he is out of the running for this map, and then Carl Jr. will be looking very happily and saying, well, I can get 3. Grenade's out. He's been challenging me. Obviously, Pack and Afi's still there to challenge as well. But there's a lot of weight on Grenade's shoulders. We see that wall bounce coming out. Carl Jr. not doing it. Usually able to catch up through this section. Very good at taking the tight line there. And then as we drift to the left, we'll go back across the water into the surf.
Yeah, and also want to point out, unnoticed in that previous round, Pack drove a 0.2, so he actually took a decent chunk off the other health bars. Grenade with that final chance tag, also down in last, but he goes for the sharpest bug slide line now, nothing to lose. But this is the problem. If you go for that line, it's so hard to adapt, and he's going to fall further behind. Jumping up with Carl now, who makes the jump through the ferry, though a little bit behind the others. Afi was in this similar spot against Pack in the last round, but Pack had a stellar ending and was able to get a 0.2. Afi almost hitting the pillar, but gets a wide setup here and will still remain in first place as we approach the diving board and that pillar. Can they get the angle now? Carl looks sideways, but that might still get through Pack as well. Oh, everybody makes it.
Yeah, Pack and Afi just going straight at the end there. I think they've decided, let's not risk trying to get the extra time. Let's not try to get the nose down. We'll just go straight through. Afi still with 2.8 seconds left on his clock. Obviously, we will see Grenade getting knocked out as well with him being in that last chance position. It's very close. There's 600ths between Pack and Afi right now. 200ths back is Carl Jr. in 3rd place, but unless we see some crashes, I'm expecting everyone's going to be within that 2.8, 2.7 mark for a while.
Yeah, and the level really has been set already. The bar that the players have to clear every time is around that 58.5 mark. If you don't, you're bound to lose some health, as these players, one of them is certain to drive that pace through the round. Even with some small mistakes, Carl going so close on the wall there. And you want to go high through the first part of the serve. That a small release here to not gear up. You want to wait with the gear up till the booster. Most efficient way of doing it. And now Carl's a very tricky line. Very inside. It's going to put him wide. And now has to slow down so much to make the left. He still makes it. What about Alfie with this speed? Oh, that is a shaky line. And Pack now could do some damage. The others have made small mistakes of their own. He has 2 tenths. And if he gets a good end, this could put him further in the lead.
Alfie clips a little bit there. Able to maintain the speed through here, though. He's going to be about 6 tenths down, so it's a big advantage for Pack. We'll see if Pack decides to go straight. He has been doing that. Carl Jr. goes for the nose down. Will get in. Pack just clips. Carl Jr. 2 tenths back. Afi 4.5 tenths behind.
I said the bar was 0.5, but 0.3 now has been the winning pace in that one. Incredible 0.2, so he's chipping away. 2.86 seconds left, and the others down to 2.3. He's building like he did on circuit, and you have to see, like, the others have to start the comeback now. There's only 4 rounds left.
It's been really consistent from Pack. This is how he wins his maps. It's I take a 10th, I take a 10th, I take a 10th, and then eventually you're sitting at half a second behind saying, I have to risk the final 2 laps, and you just can't get that sort of lead back in that position. Carl Jr.
starting now. He's starting now.
Really strong.
16.09 checkpoint is very fast, so he's going for a full send lap to not let the bleeding continue. He wants to make up time immediately.
He's doing an interesting water bounce there, just going back to the right instead of straight bouncing. Means he can set up a little bit wider for this line. He carries so much speed through as he jumps into the ferry. Nose down there from Alfie as he's trying to catch up. Carl Jr.'s fallen off a little bit towards the back of the pack at a 10.5 at his disadvantage. Pack slaloming through the sands, doing it sublimely as he gets a good line towards this final bit. Alfie was very close to the wall there. Could catch up a little bit at the end, but decides instead, let's not risk the bounce. Let's go straight. He still holds down the accelerator a little bit longer, gets that extra speed, overtakes Pack at the end.
I want to see a replay on that. I think Alfie was 1 pixel from just overdumping the inflatable and going for a swim. That was so at the very edge of the pillow. So incredible by him, and he will, with that, gain a few hundreds back, but it's still such a strong lead here, and if Pack keeps driving this consistently, I don't know if they can catch up.
Yeah, you're looking at people needing to get towards world record pace, really, to catch up the advantage that Pack has developed. We'll look for that wall bounce once again. Pack and Alfie continue to do it. Carl Jr. decides against it. He holds this tight line and regains a bit of speed coming through towards this left-hand drift. Pack with a wide setup will carry more speed into the surfing section. You can see him take first place away from Alfie. Continues it, the little release that you talk about. But watch this. He does this slight right bounce where everyone else is going straight, sets him up wider for this bug slide, which means he carries a lot of speed through the ferry.
Yeah, he has more space here too. It's just a lot more comfortable because you can really plan out your turn. When you're on the right side, like Carl was that one round, there's only one way back, and it's a very precarious line. He almost clips the baller there with someone did in the semi. Alfie in the lead now, and he could again look for a round win. This time he's in a better spot than the previous, but it requires that very risky jump. And we know Carl here also likes to try the nose down and the side. It's faster if he gets there. Pack clips a bit and loses a few hundreds. Alfie with a 0.2.
Yeah, really quick from Alfie. We're 4 tenths away from world record pace right now. Pack is still going to be about 3 tenths ahead, just over 3 tenths in total. Carl Jr. 5 tenths behind, half a second away. So with 2 rounds left, the question is, can you make up 3 tenths if you're Alfie?
And the level here is so incredible. Apart from the unfortunate bounce from Granati, it has been flawless by every player. It's a treat to watch. They are really playing the format to perfection.
Carl went for the wall bounce for the first time.
He did, yeah, and Pack has his best start yet, 11.60 checkpoint. This is going to be very hard to follow because he was on 0.2 pace earlier. This is 0.1 pace, 58.1. If the rest of the lap remains the same, Alfie now has to look for something crazy.
What can Alfie pull out of the bag? A magician he might be. The question is, can he catch up with Pack? He can't. The nose slide, he has to take the bottom floor of the ferry, and now it's all on Carl to try and reel in Pack, but that fish is flying into the distance. He just cannot be caught. Pack is 4 tenths ahead.
Insane pace.
It is absolutely rapid here from the UK hero. A long bounce, gets up, lands it a 58.35.
Even saving the end of it, because I don't think he needs the risky bounce to the finish. But yeah, flawless match from Pac, basically. The rounds that he's lost has been when others drive 0.2. It's again one of these where his average is 0.3. Like again, just on repeat. So if he can do that for the final one, he takes a well-deserved map win here and joins Carl on those 2 wins. But he has to keep it steady because Carl is right there. He's only 0.6, 0.7 behind at this point.
Yeah, but it's like, does Pac make a mistake? He even just goes for the wide line, not go for the wall bounce. Afi didn't get a good bounce from the start, but we'll catch up a little bit as he comes through that quarter pipe. Carl Jr. trying to up the tempo, trying to up the pace. He's in the lead, but Pac has been so good through this surfing section, starts to catch up, and then through here as well, his setup is just perfect. He gains so much speed, sets up well, is a comfortable line as well as you say, while Carl is trying to take a slightly tighter line to get as much speed through here as possible, and it is working for now. Afi DNFs, he knew he couldn't catch up, about a 1/10.5 between these two.
And what if the bounce decides it now? What if that bounce plays denial for Pac? It's worked with that straight line, but you never know. Maybe you hit the wrong pixel. Maybe you get sent to the side. He's going to try to do everything he can to ensure that this is perfect. Even releasing more, getting the high bounce, and he gets through. Carl winning the round with a really good time, but Pac does what he has to do to take the map and get 2 total map wins here.
2 for Pac, 2 for Carl, 1 for Grenadi. The 2-2-2 is still the 2-2-2-2. It's still on the cards. It's still possible. We could have a 4-way sudden death match coming into the return to Showdown. For now, though, Aerobatics is the next map on the menu for us.
And it's chosen by Pac.
Yep.
So Pac is winning this on someone else's pick, or rather the last map, but he also gets to play his own map now, which is really, really good for him. Also want to point out, Afi there saying sick pace in the chat. Of course, respectable that your opponent drives so fast. But yeah, some highlights here. We had Carl with a very tricky line to recover. That sort of set him back a bit. And then, of course, what we saw earlier was Grenadi with the first bounce not going his way. Then some interesting rounds with the starts deciding a lot of the pace. And then this just at the limit. If you go further, the front wheels don't touch.
That was so close from Afi, but the consistency from Pac continues to astound and astonish. And it was, as you say, his starts were really solid. He was able to develop that lead, and Afi obviously sliding out a little bit at the end meant that he wasn't able to catch up, lost that last chance. And that battle between Pac and Carl is one we've seen so many times over the years, and it continues to be a battle to be watched today.
Yeah, it's so fun because these players have known each other for so long. Like the top scene in Trackmania, there's been many players that have tried, but Pac and Carl for the last decade have been at the top, and they've been teammates when we play duo formats. They've been opponents in World Cup finals many times. It's often been the story that Carl has beaten him, except for 2016. That is when Pac took the trophy himself. He's also won some other cups along that, but the World Cups and such, Carl has usually taken himself. Now they're equal. After half the map Pac has played, they're equal, or a little bit more than half. We're at map 6, but we will see. You know, if one person gets a map win here, putting themselves in first with 2 maps left, that could be enough to win.
Yep.
You could ensure a tiebreaker at 3 map wins.
Yeah, importantly, if we get to 8 map wins and one player has more wins than other players, even if they haven't hit that 5 mark, they are our champion, right? It's only if we're tied for that first place that we will play the sudden death. So, for example, if Carl wins a map and then Afi wins 2, Carl would be the champion at the end of it all with that 3 map wins. We're into Aerobatic, though. A lot of full speed on this map. Pac with the 2nd fastest time in the world publicly with a 54.19. Mudda with the fastest, a 54.17. 54.17.
Yeah, and we've seen players go all the way down to like 0.3, 0.4 in the earlier matches. But really, if you can get a mid-54 here, you are doing fantastic. It is so precise in many ways. It's precise because you have to speed slide in the start. It's precise because you have to get these low-speed drifts, these neo slides, as we call them, perfectly in the middle part through the hangar. And this is also a fun fact about this map I like to bring up. It's a real location that they've recreated in the game.
Yeah, Hangar 5, right?
I think they call it that now. In Norwegian, we say that a dear child has many names. Hangar 5, Hangar 7. It's a beautiful, beautiful location, and we started off with a tribute to the jump from Felix Baumgartner.
Yeah, it's a great start to the map. We drop down ready to take on the Aerobatics. assault course, and you can see players going out to the left there. They want to get this little meme jump in so they can get a speed slide on their front left wheel. Good speed coming around the corner here from Alfie. Grenadi a little bit, so Carl Jr. a little bit behind as Grenadi takes the lead. Pack now looking to catch up with Grenadi, who does have that slight advantage, the long drift in towards this left-hander. Pack with a very tight line, but he'll be okay. Carl Jr. with a great line means that he's going to be able to overtake Grenadi, who has fallen back to 4th place rapidly.
This was something new to me, that drift from Grenadi on the very inside. Not sure he intended that, and he hits the wall here, makes contact. The keyboard he uses there to drift, not doing the favors for him. We're on board with Offie into the last 2 turns up the tunnel, and now the final straightaway. Pack doing a S4B, a speed slide on the last straight. Carl battling for it though, and despite the speed slide for Pack, Carl takes first blood, 200s ahead of Pack.
At 54.6 as well. Very fast here from Carl Jr. It's going to be a tight map, though. You feel like there's a couple of places you can make mistakes, as Grenadi did in that map, but like losing a second and a half. But it's very much the Neo slide section, that section in Hangar 7, where all it takes is you clipping the wall and you're going to lose a second to a second and a half. We'll get into the second round, though, as Carl Jr. leads once again.
So pay attention to the front left tire. They push the front left tire down so they can start a speed slide. 482 is an insane start by Carl. He doesn't get the best second speed slide, but the start is still enough to carry him almost all the way up to first, and you want to see a 19.3 checkpoint here at the end of the runway. That is a perfectly done start for Carl, and he's now up in first after winning the first round. And again, this low speed drift from Grenadi, it might be safer, but you can see him lose a little bit in this segment each time.
Out drifting around towards the right. Tight left-hander, very easy to clip through here. This first drift a little bit easier, but the second one is very much that Neo slide. Offie going so wide, almost getting into the tires, as all of them manage to get through relatively safe in towards these final couple of turns. The S4D, that forced speed drift, possible from Puck, but he is quite far behind Carl Jr. trying to catch up with Grenadi. Grenadi has enough speed to hold him off. It's 400ths and only a 10th between the 4 of them.
Insane round. When you just look at these final time, 5-7, 6-1, 6-6, 6-8, it really speaks to the level that they're playing at. We see the health bars now. Carl dropping 400ths there, but still flawless match so far on this map. Pack as well has had good performances here, but he's also crashed into the hangar. That is the part they struggle the most with. So the full speed part, you can gain a bit, but you really got to lock in on those left-right chicane drifts.
Pack going very wide there at the start. He's going to lose quite a bit of speed, as it's Carl Jr. They're both a 10th behind Grenadi and Affy at the start. Grenadi really needs to up the tempo, needs to force people to make mistakes, because of course he lost that second and a half on the first round. We're into round 3 right now. Grenadi with that tight line doesn't carry as much speed through here, and you can see Affy starting to catch him up, but as soon as we get through this drift, the speed doesn't matter as much. Grenadi still with that lead. Carl Jr. chasing on the tail of Affy. Pack coming through here as well. These small, tight sections are where he really shines, and Affy falls down to 4th through the Neo slide.
And look at this now. Pack drifts more, so he can brake tap here, get an extra speed slide towards the finish, and he has more speed than Offie. He might even pass Grenadi here due to that strategy, but no, actually, a little bit too high. Close round again. Carl gets it by 100th of a second this time.
Everyone within 500ths as well. It's going to come down to, do you make a mistake? If not, we're within a 10th of everyone. You can see Carl still only lost 400ths across the course of the map.
And they all know their personal bests are in that 0.1, 0.2 region. Like, if you get one stellar run here through, that could be enough damage to let you get away with 0.6 for the rest of the match and still take the map.
But in map 6 of the finals, they played the semifinals earlier today. Do you have the endurance? Do you have the stamina to pull out a PB at this point? Currently, Pack leading the charge for 548 speed. Round 550 is perfection there. A 19.3 as well through the checkpoint. Carl Jr. in the last place, and going for that wider line. Grenadi tighter, but Carl Jr. usually carries a bit more speed through this drifting section. You can see him catching up with Affy and Grenadi. Now the right hand, very tight, very intricate. Carl Jr.
set up for
still
Carl.
catching,
No slide.
and Pack no slides out. He's going to lose a bunch of time there. Grenadi falls out as well. Grenadi 2 seconds down. He's going to be in last chance. Pack 6/10ths behind as well, and now it's between Carl Jr. and Affy has a good line in towards this final wall ride. Should be able to hold on to it. I don't think Carl Jr. has the speed to catch up. It's going to be about a 10th, 800ths in the end.
And Affy there gained such valuable time towards Carl. A 10th is hard fought here. He's down 2/10ths on the leaderboard before this round. Now it's a lot closer, and with Pack and Grenadi dropping out of contention range unless there's bigger mistakes by the others, this is important for Affy. He could finally get on the board here. He has 3 rounds left to catch Carl, and we will see now as they go into the start again, it's really hinging on the speed slides. This round, he was close up front with Carl in that round, and that ultimately held all the way to the finish. So he gets a good speed slide. He likes to go more on the left here, Uffy. You can see him there. And then good setup here. And Carl is actually, with the worst start, Uffy not getting a good speed slide either. This is Grenady and Pac's chance for a comeback, I think.
I mean, for Grenady, he needs to win this to stay in contention in this map. Would be hard for him to win in the end, but you have to keep yourself in the battle. Uffy ahead of Carl Jr. though. Every tenth between the two of them matters. Pac with a good line. Carl Jr. is going to overtake Uffy as we come into the Neo slides. Pac still leading the charge as Uffy tries to catch up. Carl Jr. just have a little bit more speed going into this right and left hander, and then we will see the final corners of the map. Uffy with the SPD trying to get enough speed to catch up with Carl Jr., but Carl Jr. is far enough ahead, has good speed, about a tenth between the two of them, a 54.4 from Pac.
Insane pace from Pac. He knows he has to step on it now to get back, and he is, you know, getting closer. He's 0.4 out, and that could happen if he keeps driving 0.4s.
Yeah, but does it happen is the question, right? It's 4 tenths between him and Carl Jr., 2 tenths between him and Uffy. I think the battle still remains between Carl Jr. and Uffy. If Pac pulls out something absolutely miraculous, maybe he can get back in it. As you said, it is his map pick. Did only have a couple of options. It was this or Splash, but Aerobatic, something he is very comfortable on. Uffy, with good speed coming into this first wall ride, should be able to get up to only 542, not as quick as he'd like. Pac trying to get away from them as Carl Jr. in 3rd place right now goes for that drift. Uffy and Pac doing the same. Pac a little bit tighter. Carl Jr. sets up a bit wider, which means he'll have more speed to catch up with Uffy. Can't quite overtake Pac now. A long right-handed drift into that Neo slide section.
Uffy had to let off, so he's going to lose some valuable time now, and Pac is still trying to gain time towards Carl. Remember, it is 0.4 overall, but he's looking at 0.1 already. Maybe with a good ending, could get that 0.2 he needs on average. Hard drift into a brake tap to get the S4D. This to gain more speed. I think Carl actually gained on him during this segment, and it's only going to be 500ths to his name.
Just half a tenth there for Pac. He's still a 54.5 is absolutely blistering pace. Uffy losing out a ton on that really puts him out of contention. You can see he falls down into 3rd place. If Carl Jr. makes a mistake, we're looking at 4 tenths or 5 tenths for Uffy. It's going to be a tricky one. Round 7, final round of Aerobatic. Carl Jr. looking to pick up another map win.
Eyes on him now. Carl with 2 map wins to his name. A 3rd one at the 6th out of 8 maps would be setting him up for another potential tournament win. He's won everything there is to win before this. World Cups, Serrator Cups. He's had it all, but this new tournament, he could maybe win the inaugural edition, but Pac is trying to deny him. Pac has a 0.1 better start, and he is ready to all in, but he crashes. He crashes in that pursuit, and now Carl is going to have that information to work with. He gets through the slalom. He gets a good setup for this Neo slide. It's not going to fail. Plenty of space. Uffy is there, but Carl, I think, has this one on lock and will take the lead off the map and be very close to that eventual trophy. Uffy is right by his side, and this is going to continue all the way to the finish. But ladies and gentlemen, Carl has taken the lead in the match.
3 map wins for Carl Jr. An unstoppable force of nature. 2 maps left. If he gets to 4, he is uncatchable now. With if he wins this next map, Carl Jr. is the Red Bull champion, I believe.
Can't come back.
Yeah.
It's all
on Rooftops, man. Yeah. We're all flying high in the sky on the rooftops. We'll see if Carl Jr. can close it out there.
And this one was picked by Uffy. Uffy could also get on the board, but it's going to be very hard for him to get all the way back to 3 map wins. I think, looking at it right now, Grenady and Pac, the only people that can match and put it to a sudden death, but they're still also playing for the prizes between them, of course. 2nd place gets a better prize than 3rd and so on, so you want to really push everything you can. Every map win matters.
As we look at some of the replays going through the Aerobatics, it is just so intensely fast. You can see Pac really upping the tempo near the end as well. Obviously, Grenady falling out early on with that first lap, losing a second and a half. But Pac had the pace, and he was just pushing it a little bit too close to the line. Carl Jr. was able to build up that slow advantage. You know, we talked about it in Splash. it's all about getting a 10th, getting a 10th, getting a 10th, getting a 10th, and then when you're 4 or 5 tenths ahead, the opposition has to really push themselves.
Yeah, because there's so much pressure then on your opponents. They know I can no longer drive 0.5, I have to drive, in that case, it was a 0.3 probably for Pack, twice in a row to come back, and ultimately it didn't happen. So Carl takes the map, we're getting warmed up on Rooftop. As you can see on the left there, the players are getting settled in. This map is equally to Circuit and to the previous map, Aerobatics, one of the more technical ones, one of the more that features the drifting style. Also a lot of obstacles. You see here, they're coming up to the ending. The most important part, this slalom left-right into a flip. The banner up there is the finish line. Carl going for the safe finish in the warm-up.
Oh yeah, it's important, you know.
But also showing the flip here. Or maybe even respawning a few times. You have to just do this ending over and over again until you get a feel for it.
Just make sure that you're getting that low jump. It's something we saw a lot in the semi-finals as well. Pack was able to catch up about a 1/10 of a second, if I recall correctly, with just those really good low jumps. So it feels do or die. It truly is. For Grenady, for Pack, they are looking to try and match, obviously, Carl Jr. on those 3 wins. Pack having 2, Grenady only having 1. Grenady needs to win out here if we're going to get a sudden death between him and Carl Jr. in after the next map. For Pack, winning this would even the score with Carl Jr. and put it all down to Alpine, which is one of Carl's least favorite maps. Like, if you can get through this map, Carl isn't that comfortable on map really number 8.
And for Grenady, this could be important. Like, he said Alpine is his favorite map. Yep. If he's able to hit the rail there and go for that every time, if he gets a win here, he could also come back and match Carl in 3. So yeah, Carl picked Alpine because he wanted it last. He didn't want anyone else to get a point there early on. I think that was his strategy. So this is a very important map for Carl to try to close it out, else it could get very dicey. We're going into round 1 of Rooftops here, which could be one of the last maps of this, the very last map of this tournament.
It could be. Let's see how the players adapt to another new map. Early doors on this, not too important. We'll get into this long left-handed drift. You can gain a bit of speed here, but really things begin to get exciting as we get into the quarter pipe jump. Uppy, low line, does get a bit more airtime, but you see the speed Grenady's got out of this, and Carl Jr. has not kept up the pace. Grenady now dropping off the end, down into this backflip. You want a low jump here, just clipping the gravel, and that's exactly what Pack does. Look at how low Pack was into that wall ride. Uppy's going to be able to catch him with a little bit of speed, but the drift around the corner means that Pack has a good line into this last corner. He likes to take this tight on the hairpin. Uppy maintaining a little bit more speed as we come on over to the beam, and Uppy is now beginning to take the lead. Pack, though, has so much speed. A low jump from Pack. Super low, a 10th ahead of Grenady, and a 2nd and 2 tenths ahead of Carl.
Carl with a big mistake there. It just kept snowballing up, didn't get it to work right. He was 0.3 down about halfway through the map, and then I think the tight drifting section is where further time was lost. We saw the other players really close though, but Uppy having to let off before the final jump, and therefore not chancing the lowest possible jump at all. You gotta stay in contention here. Takes a little bit of damage for that, but he can still very much fight back on this map as well.
Once again, onto the rooftops of Red Bull faster. We saw Uppy leading through the early portions of round 1 here. Once again, he is out to a bit of a lead. Let's see how Carl manages this quarter pipe jump, because that's where he struggled last time. This time, a much better jump. Keeps within chasing distance of the rest of the pack. That's kind of what he wants to do.
The backflip from Pack here was stellar last time. This time, not as great, but maybe Grenady also had it a little worse up front. Uppy is leading the charge this time. Low line there in the turn. Very close to the corner twice, and has such a good setup here. Comfort and pace, can go wide on the bubble, but can control the slalom now. Carl, 2nd place, could go from last to first this round. Going for the flip. Is he going to go low? Gets a little bit of a high flip. He might get sniped. Uppy failed. Uppy failed the flip. And did he finish? He did, but 1 second lost.
Yeah, Uppy loses a whole 1.2 there out of his life bar. He's going to be down to 1.3. Carl Jr. in 1st place, but you can see there's still a massive lead for Pack and Grenady here. It's theirs to lose. Basically, don't fail the final jump, and they should be in a good position. The question is, will the pressure get to them? For Grenady, he needs to win out. Has to win this, has to win Alpine if he's going to match Carl at 3 wins, and we will go back to Showdown. For Pack, if he wins this and wins Alpine, he is the Red Bull Faster champion. He can taste it. His friends and family are in the crowd, and here once again he's off to a good start on the rooftops. Grenadi a little bit behind, about 2/10 away from Appy, who's in first place. Will get down into this drop down and then the backflip. Pack's backflip so low. Hitting that gravel with your front wheels gives you the extra speed. He loves to take this wall ride low as well as we come into that left-hand drift. A very tight affair here through the corners, then left again into the hairpin. Uppy's still leading by about a 10th. Pack a little bit slower through here as Uppy gets more speed. Carl as well catching up with Pack, and now it's all on the jump. Uppy looking for it, Pack going very low. Will catch up a bit of pace with Uppy. 2/10 behind. Carl Jr. going through at the same time.
And importantly here, if you look at the overall health bars, Pack gains towards Grenadi. It's 1500ths gained, and that is the range he needs right now. Carl and Uppy, if Grenadi and Pack don't crash, are sort of too far, and they are both fighting for this really important map win. For Pack, it would mean tying up the match, as you said, and they both on 3, meaning even if he doesn't win Alpine, if Carl doesn't win it, they go to that Armageddon we talked about. And Grenadi, he's waiting for Alpine. He's been wanting to play it. That is one of the hard maps that he could really pack a punch on. So right now, both of them are in a fantastic position to put us to map 8 and make this very tense, but Carl could also just end up being the most consistent one from now on. That flip is very, very difficult to do 7 times in a row without fail. All the players have survived the start here, and they're within a 10th as we get across the bridge and to that backflip.
Here we go, low and fast. Pack a little bit higher than he wants to be. You can see his car bouncing up and down there. He's going to fall down into 4th place, about a 10th behind, and this is Grenadi's opportunity to catch up once again. Carl Jr. and Uppy hot on his heels as they come round into the hairpin, trying to maintain as much speed as possible so you can carry it through to that final jump. Uppy and Carl in the lead, Grenadi catching up. Carl clips, as you say, Uppy looking for that low jump. Grenadi trying to catch him up, almost gets bounced off the checkpoint. Pack catches up a little bit, Carl loses a second. And in the end, Grenadi and Pack, I believe, are going to be basically even. There's 100th between the two of them.
Pack and Grenadi, just 100th, yeah. Grenadi answers back. Beautiful jump there on the very left side of the goal. It's what you need, and halfway through this map now, round 5, 3 rounds remaining. Will decide it. Let's see, in the start, it's a bit of a calm before the storm. We're waiting for that quarter pipe jump to really give us the big differences, but you have to be precise here too. You know, those very few hundreds could matter. The nose down drop to get at the good drift setup. We'll see if there's any differences. Grenadi jumped a bit far, having a bit less speed. There's things that, you know, can make the jump a little awkward, but wow. Butter smooth landing by Grenadi, the steering wheel player, and he's gonna go butter smooth through here first before the backflip. We saw Pack miss it. He needs a good one now.
Oh, that's so good from Pack. You can see the speed he gains as well. Grenadi, as well as you say, they're basically on top of each other into that left-hand drift, holding tight through these lines. Now it's all down to the hairpin, and then that beam across the side. Pack trying to go a little bit wider there, gets a bit of speed, but Grenadi catches him up pretty quickly. Now it's all on the jump. Who goes low? Who goes high? Pack so low!
Pack on the left side gets the 100s he needs to put himself further in first with 2 rounds remaining, but they go neck and neck. It's so close.
1/10 between Pack and Grenadi now, as you say. It's a couple of rounds left.
Carl Jr. down to the final chance. Uppy at 0.8 of a second left on his health bar, but really, I think Pack and Grenadi, have been so consistent thus far that we will follow the battle between them. Already a tiny mistake by Grenadi there. Nose down, not the way he wanted it to be, but I think it's not gone unpunished. He gets to the drift, equal with the other players in time, and it's actually Pack that was trailing, but he got a good drift.
Yeah, really nice speed coming out of that corner there for Pack. Now it's that low jump. You hear them just like touching the throttle there, back and forth, making sure they get on towards that quarter pipe properly. Over the jump, down into the backflip. Grenadi about a 10th behind Pack in the lead right now. Tries to get that low jump, trying to catch up, but Pack is in a solid position to begin to close this one out. Just needs to get through these final couple of corners smoothly. Grenadi trying to catch up. Does carry more speed through here, and Pack doesn't have the best drift around that corner. Grenadi catching up. Pack, though, with a little bit more speed coming into the flip. Nice and low from him. Grenadi will catch up a little bit of pace, but it's still an extra 10th for Pack.
Extra 2/10. Even the other players were within 200s of each other. Carl knocked out of this map. Uppy still stays in with a 0.4. Fantastic time for rounds mode. And before we go into the final, is it the final round? Yes, I believe it is. We have Pack with a 0.25 lead. 1/4 of a second. That's all you have to work with here. You have to beat your opponent. by that, with your Grenade, you have to gain all that time back.
So where do you send it if you're Grenade? Is it purely on the final jump?
It's the quarter pipe. If you get that butter smooth quarter pipe, that's how he pulled ahead. The backflip pack seems to be getting it better most of the rounds. He had that one unfortunate one, but other than that, it's been flawless. So right now for Grenade is the moment to try to get that perfect release. He releases early. Oh, but Pack does as well, and they go about equal, so no big differences yet. No stand over this, equal just about, but Pack pulling a little bit away. Now the backflip could be decisive. Where does Grenade strike? The backflip is better.
It is
better. Much better. Pack will be trailing after this downhill. How much is the difference going to be? It's about a 10th in favor of Grenade. Is going to be able to push. This is where Mudda tried to push him, but now he's the one pushing in the finals to take a second map for himself. Pack is actually about that distance behind. If Grenade misses the flip, he's going to be able to make the comeback happen. It's low. Grenade's going to take it.
Is it enough? Is it enough?
He's going to snipe it back.
It's 2 tenths, 500ths. I believe it's enough. I think Grenade's done it.
Oh!
He has! Grenade's done it by 11 thousandths of a second.
He risked that flip too. It was perfectly low across the building onto the rooftop and soaring into second place tied with Pack before we go to Alpine, the last map. Carl still leads the match. Grenade and Pack could both tie it up to that Armageddon. Offie could also win a map for good measure, but yeah.
So the way it plays out now is if Carl wins, he wins.
Yep.
If Grenade wins, Carl and Grenade play sudden death. If Pack wins, Carl and Pack play sudden death. And if Afi wins, Carl is our champion.
Yeah, Offie could secure the win here for Carl technically, but also so many different outcomes. But remember, this is the map Carl probably wants to play the least out of all the maps in this map pack. It's a very hard map. If you remember from stage 2, that railing was something the players all avoided because they could safe it. But now in the finals, they will not dare to do that. I think they might have to go for that. We're seeing the replays on screen, but we have to be talking about
100%.
We have to be talking about Alpine.
And I think it is important to note that Carl picked this map, and we were thinking, why is Carl picking a map he doesn't like? It's because it makes it 8th. He knew he had first pick and 8th pick, put it in last place. He wanted to avoid this like the plague.
Medic, how are we ending on Alpine? Like the most cinema map out of them all. Steven Spielberg would want to buy the script, but we didn't write it. The players played it out, and we are getting to witness Trackmania history here. It's incredible the scenes we're seeing, the emotions from the players, and there's just 1 minute left on the orange warm-up timer before we get on. And here,
I just love the
emotions. Look at the emotions, yeah.
You see Pack with his head in his hands. He knew that like he had it in his hands there. You see Grenade like, yeah, I can win this now. Alpine is my style of map. And you see Carl just deadpan. He is locked. He is loaded. He knows a lot comes down to this map, but there's no point stressing about it. You've just got to play what's in front of you.
There's 3 potential victors still on the last map. We're playing for 17,000 euros for first place and 7 rounds of Trackmania on one of the hardest but also most visually stunning maps I've ever seen. It's Alpine on your screens right now. Let's go through this map real quick in the warm-up on board with Pack here. We're in the middle of the map where we see an ice... Oh, he's going to reset, so let's maybe turn attention to Grenade for that ice slide. The ice slide is important because it builds speed for the ending, but really, if anyone's close to the ending here in the warm-up session, we have to take a look. No one's close, so we'll stick with Grenade. There's the bobsleigh, there's the backflip, there's the rail medic. For first round of this, you might not want to do the risky.
No, do it. Grind the rail. Grind the rail. Come on, Milton Keynes. Grind the rail. Grind the rail. Yeah, I love it. If Mudda can do it when he's already won the map, everyone else should be doing it anyway. Look, it is the final map of the Red Bull Faster Tournament, unless we go to sudden death. It's going down to this. Carl Jr. is in a winning position. Pack and Grenade can catch him. Afi can play spoiler. Let's get the hell into this.
Have fun to the competitors. We're going up the high jump. Remember, Grenade struggled a little bit on this in the semi. 2 mistakes out of 7 rounds. Now it was clean and the best start out of the 4. He gets a 19-0 checkpoint here. That is something that is really good. And if you have good speed with the normal way, you might be able to get away with safe finish. Carl Jr. ate the gear in the uphill. This is about a second lost. This is going to snowball across the entire bobsleigh part and only reset the speed difference when we get to the cave. And the difference is about 1 second. So Grenady here on a fantastic run has pulled away from everyone else. Now he was in this situation previously and he decided to save. What do the players decide now? We have Offie on the left. We have Offie going for the straight setup. Look at this new strategy that we've seen in practice. The players ahead hit the rail.
He has so much speed. Is Offie just going to catch Grenady? Grenady will take it. Offie 500s behind Pack. Over half a second and Carl almost loses 2.
So that is something new. Players can ice slide and it is quicker on paper, but this straight setup, you try to just get one set of tires on and balance just enough of the car on the rail across.
You can see the extra speed that Offie got out of that. He is not done. He might not be able to win, but you can look at that. Carl Jr. 1.9 seconds down. He is struggling on this map and really relying on Offie to be his white knight in shining armor. Offie and Grenady off to a good start again as they go up through the jump. Now straight. Make sure you don't slide out with these icy tires around into this ice slide. No grip. That means that you're not going to slide out if you do drop the gear. You go up around this corner and then towards the bobsled.
Oh, Pack with a fantastic turn there and good speed, but really in the bobsled we know Grenady with the steering wheel tends to be good. Looking for about 290 speed on that exit. He has 292 and effortlessly passes Offie in the uphill. He had the best start previous round, he has the best start now, and now we will see the difference in strategy once again. We saw the other players go for the rail. You can see Offie here again with this wide line, setting up on the left. She has space to go to the left again here with the straight line. Pack running the rail. Grenady almost slipping, but he gets there. Pack sliding a bit, but Offie snipes them both.
That's absurd. I thought Grenady had a good angle coming out of it with straight, but Offie catching up. Basically 2/10 in the last moments there. Carl Jr. once again coming back in 4th, loses 6/10 overall. He's down to just over half a second left on his life after only a couple of rounds.
It is so tense. Can you imagine if you're Carl right now, you're seeing your health bar go down, you're hoping that Offie with the strategy could win, and he looks very comfortable on it. In my practice, and when I play this map, I've thought that ice slide is inconsistent. I cannot get it correctly. These players are doing it every time, but what Offie's doing might just be the final strategy where under all the pressure, line up straight, get the rail, try to win.
Once again, we move into this ice slide. Kai Jr. still with the pack this time, has been falling behind by this point on the previous rounds. Offie falls back though.
This is big for Grenady because they were so close up until now. If Grenady gets a good round now, he could pull away as the clear first place in terms of health bar.
And equalize Carl Jr. on that 3 map wins if he does it. Pack looking to upset the apple cart. Low jump from him, a little bit higher from Grenady. He's going to hit the ground a little bit slower. Pack looking for that sideways. I think Carl Jr. is actually gone for the Pack.
Can he save it?
Oh,
I think he saved it.
He saves it a bit. Carl Jr. went safe.
How much does Grenady gain towards Offie now? It is only 0.6. Offie actually did a perfect ending despite the start mistake. And I would say he's still in contention.
He definitely is. I mean, we've already seen Pack just mess up, right? Like, all it takes is Grenady to miss the slide on that rail, and he can be losing 6/10 very, very quickly. We're going to get into round 4, the halfway mark of this final map of the regular competition here. We may have sudden death on the horizon.
And remember, the pressure increases with every round. Right now, there's still many things that can happen, but when we get into the last final round, that railing is so much more difficult to aim, and all the players have done really well so far to not make the biggest mistakes, but I think we will see the pressure now. Who can handle it the best? Those are going to be the players that will go to that Armageddon with Carl, if that is the case. Carl, though, still with the lowest health bar, but fighting for first right now, getting good bobsleigh next to Grenady. Where is Offie? Can he play denial with that safe strategy, that somewhat safe strategy anyway? It's not safe, but it's a little more understandable to line up straight for the rail. We know actually Carl does that too.
Yeah, we do. I saw Carl going around the long way here. We'll go out all the way to the outside. Grenady in front. Is it a big enough lead? Grenady bounces backwards. He's trying to reverse into the finish, but Carl Jr. will claim first. In the end, oh, it's a whole second.
It's a whole second.
It's swung. It's now 4/10 lead for Offie.
Offie's going to be in first. I think Pack is dangerously close to that. Yeah, final chance, only 0.15. Carl's starting to get closer now. All it takes is one rail miss, Medic.
That's all it takes, and we've seen 2 in a row now. The question is, can Grenady get out of that hole, get out of that slump? He's 3/10 behind Uppy. But the first few rounds on this map, he was so consistent. When we saw him in the semi-final, he clipped here a couple of times, still able to manage the jump this time. Carl and Uppy leading the charge. Grenady in the chasing pack. Pack all the way down with basically a 10th left on his life bar. Carl with the inside line here. Uppy doing the same. As you say, Carl is releasing a lot, but Grenady's now back and forth, and Uppy has a good line and good speed through the bobsled. He's beginning to accelerate away, about 4/10 ahead of Grenady. The advantage beginning to extend as Uppy very close here, but with a good line. Look at that backflip. Wants to be nice and low. Minimize the time in the air. He kind of goes from right to left, and now will line up those two wheels on the rail. Puck going in, but you can see just how close Uppy is! He saves it! He doesn't have the speed.
Grenady will gain a little bit back. Let's remember, if Uppy wins this map, then Carl wins the tournament. Grenady gets 6 more hundreds to get closer. We have 2 rounds left. Grenady needs to get past Uppy. He needs to gain about 2/10. He did it against Pac to secure himself at 2 maps. Now he needs that 3rd one. This is all coming down to these final 2 rounds. Please make some noise for the players. They're playing their hearts out on stage right now, trying to make the most of it, trying to claim the title for themselves. Uppy sliding out in the start. This is going to cost him 0.4, 0.5 a second, and he has a different jump than usual up on the platform here. Will he get there? He will.
Oh, just.
This is an opportunity for Grenady.
But Grenady is in 3rd place right now. He's only about 3/10 ahead, extending it to about 4 as we come into the ice slide. Carl Jr. could do the funniest thing and just manage to hold onto it himself as well. Grenady taking a wider line here, very slow as you say. Uppy trying to catch up, but he's half a second behind right now. Grenady has so much time to work with, 3/10 between him and Uppy. Uppy is catching up, good speed as we come around towards the backflip section. Grenady holds the line, doesn't clip anywhere. That's all he kind of has to do right now. 4/10 between him and Uppy, and that's the battle we're really looking at. Pac trying to fight back, but he has already lost so much of his health bar. Grenady on the rail, a little bit wobbly. Pac's going to bounce out. He's going to go into last chance. Uppy, how much has he lost? Is it 2 seconds, a second and a half? In the end, it's 2. And it's Grenady's for the taking.
Grenady is on so much health. Carl on final chance. I think he can even safe finish here, Medic. I think Grenady can go for the safe finish in the last round and still have enough health to sustain the damage the others would do and put us at an Armageddon.
It will be sudden death between Carl and Grenady.
This is the round.
Showdown. If that happens, can Grenady hold his nerve? Pac realizes...
There's going to be a pause. There's going to be a pause. Pac is...
he says my pad
I'm
is
not sure.
struggling.
I'm not... Yeah, there's going to be a pause.
Skip, we have a pause.
And if the tension in the room wasn't high enough, we're going to have a pause on the very final round to resolve an issue. All good now in the chat, and we can continue and take...
Importantly, this is not the round that we're continuing with. We'll reset it, I assume. Yeah.
Let's get into it. This is the final round of regulation time, and we might go to overtime with that tiebreaker if it happens. But all eyes on Grenady right now. 58 seconds of driving through Alpine, up this mountain in beautiful, beautiful conditions. Can he get this jump he struggled with in the semi? Up to the left.
Uppy with a good start. Grenady trying to chase him down. Uppy a little bit higher. No clips with the wheels there. Grenady able to take the lead. He doesn't have to do anything special here. Just keep all 4 wheels on the road. Doesn't get too close to those rocks, nor to the inside line that would be a little bit more treacherous.
Bobsleigh is chill. The bobsleigh, you are just relaxing. This cannot really go wrong at his level. He's thinking about the flip and he's thinking about the ending. But so far, beautiful execution by Grenady, and he just needs 20 seconds now to join Carl in those 3 map wins. The backflip, really good. Gonna release late, make sure he gets that landing. He's doing everything by the book right now, going out to the right because he's gonna take the same path. It's not gonna win him the round if Pac does this properly. He needs to ice slide now towards the ski jump, and Grenady will join Carl Jr. in that 1 versus 1 to see who takes the first iteration of Red Bull Faster. Medic, can you believe this?
What an end. Grenady fights back, wins the final 2 maps. Both of them nail biters, right? Against Pac and then against Uppy. And now we see the battle between Germany and Canada, the showdown between Grenady and Carl Jr.
I want everyone in the crowd right now to get up on your feet and make some noise for these players in the last round. Please stand up and get some noise for these players. Make them hear you. If you want Grenady to win, let it be heard. If you want Carl to win, cheer for him. They're sitting right next to each other, and there are just a few rounds remaining on the first map, mind you.
Yes.
Going back to map 1.
Back to Showdown. Back to Showdown.
Carl picked.
It was Carl's pick. It is an explosive map. It's not just one lap, importantly, it's one map. So we are playing with the full 3-second life pool, which means we're likely to see, well, we'll see at most 7 rounds on this entire map. Carl Jr. asks, he is correct.
Hang on. Let's get the full. I think it's either sudden death or it's full map.
So I've been told it's full map. That's what Kem says
It's
played
the whole
normally.
map.
Yeah,
Yep.
whole map played normally. We'll jump into warm-ups.
That 2-minute orange timer is the countdown to get some hype in the Twitch chat and YouTube chat as well. Hope you've been enjoying watching this from home. And, you know, we had an instantly sold out venue here, but if this happens again, we'll make sure to make some more room for the rest of you, because being in this room right now is the best place to be as a Trackmania enjoyer.
Oh, it's so good. Grenadi chasing the biggest prize he's ever won, really. He won Ascension back in 2023, but this would top that by a long shot. For Carl, another day in the office at times. 6 championships under his name. This is the important part of the map as well. We're wondering, will we see no slides? Grenadi slid most of the time during his rounds. It was Pack that we saw looking for those no slides. Carl Jr. did manage to pick up the win on Showdown, a lot of it being about the ending as well. We just have to wait and see just how close these two are, because there's so much pressure on their shoulders.
I cannot at the top of my head remember Grenadi's performance here, but we know Carl was a 58 machine.
Yeah.
The world record, public world record, 58.5. He was pushing it to like 58.7 every single round. And that is how he won the map, except for that one almost crash in the start downhill. It's very scary with the icy tires. Not sure about what Grenadi's personal best here, but he was driving 58s as well.
Grenadi 58.74 on live is his personal best. So he is a speed demon when it comes to this. The question is, can he be consistent? He has been playing, like we've been live since 4 o'clock and it's 9:30. He's been playing for the last couple of hours just in this finals alone. 20 seconds before we get into the sudden death showdown. We'll count down from 10, Virtual. You want to lead us?
With us, please. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let the action begin. Milton Keynes, here we go. The sudden death. Carl versus Grenadi. 30 seconds of health part. Things can happen very quickly here.
I mean, it could be over in the first round. It could be a single mistake. We see both of them going for this normal early line, gets the drift out. Grenadi going a little bit wider to try and get a bit more speed into this bobsleigh position. Both of them fine so far here. You want to make sure you don't eat the gear, and neither of them do. Grenadi able to hold on to it through the plastic turnover as we go round towards the right here. Carl Jr. with about a 10th lead of 500s right now. Low jump onto the dirt. He gets traction a little bit earlier. Grenadi catching up as well as they go into the ice slide. Grenadi touches!
But it's not that bad. It's not that bad, but it's going to be like 0.6 in terms of speed after the dirt as well. But it is putting the favorite in Carl's position right now, because he was the one who won this map flawlessly, and one small mistake like that could almost be another. Very close there.
I mean, for Grenadi, they just adds the pressure. It just piles it on more and more and more, because now Carl just has to drive consistently. A 58.9, very high 58, but still a very good time. Grenadi loses over half a second on the first round.
Yeah, but he was able to stabilize. It was about 0.6 from that mistake, and he didn't lose further time, which can very often happen. So still within striking distance, and hopefully he can push back in this next round.
The question is, will Carl give him an opportunity to strike back? Carl doesn't leave those openings, no weakness in his armor usually when it comes to positions like this. Grenadi with that wider line once again. Carl a little bit low on the bobsled means that Grenadi will have a bit more speed coming through here. Always looking to see if they eat the gear. Both of them hold on to it into that plastic turnover.
Now we have that drift. This is where things were a little bit shaky already for Grenadi, close to that right side barrier, but now a lot more comfort, better jump here, and he should have more time to set up the bobsled to not end up in that position again. Just trailing car by a car length. Hard sentence to say there, but this time Carl pulls away by even more without the crash, or more than what it was, 0.1 of a second, and into the downhill. Carl, as you said, not letting Grenady make a breakaway of any kind, but maybe he can stay close here and try again on the next one. Just minimize the damage ultimately, and what an ending. He's actually going to be able to chip a bit
Really
of
fast
Carl.
ending.
The can is far away. It's going to be almost 2/10.
So it's a 10th in the end. Carl Jr. with the backing into that plate means that he gets a little bit more speed, but still under 59 here from Grenady, and that's a great reset round. Get the adrenaline back under control. Make sure you're in a position where you can start to strike back. He has time. It's a 4/10 difference, but he's got another 5 laps on this track. Get back into it immediately.
Needs to gain that amount every single round from now, basically, to get back and pass Carl if their performance remains the same. Very different starts in that first dirt corner that ends up in different speed on the bobsleigh. Grenady pulling away by a little bit, but we really start to see the differences after this next corner here. A lot of airtime for Carl, but good line there after, and we'll go just about even with Grenady through this section. The bobsleigh and the slide, though, is where Carl has gained twice in a row now. Where does Grenady lose the time? Can he hold on? This time it's a lot better, and his ending was strong last time. Maybe this is Grenady's opportunity.
Yeah, get another 10th back here if he's got a good drift through that final corner. Question is, will we start to see these players no slide through that bobsleigh? It does get you speed, but it's a very risky thing to do. Grenady with the inside line here is going to have a little bit more speed coming around the corner. It's going to be close, but Grenady should be able to get a couple of thousandths. Carl, though, with the car rotation, gets his advantage back. 200ths the lead there for Carl Jr.
Carl keeping it at about half a second in total, the full difference, but that backward strategy, as you saw, something the players do, not necessarily faster, but it gives you a more consistent bounce. The hitbox of the spoiler pushes you more consistently towards the cam.
Now we get back on in. 4th round, halfway mark already, and Grenady time is running out. It can feel so rapid, it can feel so fast that you are a map's gone, you've lost 1,000, you've lost a 10th, you need to start gaining in these positions. The question is, how do you gain on someone like Carl Jr.? We'll go through this, we'll look to see perhaps if that no slide comes in. This drift a possibility.
He might try it, he has the wheel, he has
really
experiment
nice there.
And oh my god, he might be in the lead after this round if he keeps this difference. This is half a second. Carl missed that previous turn, and now he's pulling away. He's pulling away by more than 0.7. He goes to the wall, I think. I'm not sure.
He definitely hit something. He hit Showdown a ton. It's down to about 2/10 now again. Carl Jr. catching back up, and you can see the pressure mounting and really affecting Grenady now. Needs to keep the speed through this final section because Carl Jr., who was 7/10 behind, is now back within a 10th and almost overtakes Grenady at the line. It could have been huge.
What an opportunity there. What an opportunity. The fortunate back wheel into the dirt wall. Luckily, one of the surfaces it cost the least time to crash on, so he still wins that round and chips away, but it's only 4 rounds remaining here. We're halfway on the map, basically, with this round starting.
But if you're Grenady as well, you're looking at it, it's like, I could have been 3/10 up. I could have been in the lead.
You cannot think that way.
You can't think that way, but it's got to play on your mind a little bit because you just won 2 maps in a row to get into this position, and then you see it slip through your fingers, as so many people have seen it slip through their fingers and into the hands of Carl Jr. before. Let's see perhaps if that no slide is a possibility. This drift from Grenady, this is where Carl Jr. messed up on the last round, able to hold it this time. Grenady a little bit ahead, about 500ths as we get into the bobsleigh. Through that turbo, still both of them just deciding to slide. It's 700 between them. Grenady almost clips the checkpoint, but is able to hold onto it as they come through the dirt.
Very dangerous there. If he hits the back right tire towards the checkpoint, that would have caused a big speed loss. Carl would have been far in the lead, but here Grenady has his biggest lead yet going into the ending, except for that previous one where Carl caught up a bit, but now 1/10 more could go in his way. It's the can bounce though, and Carl does it backwards to get it consistently. Will the front tires push him further? It looks like it's about 1/10 again.
Another sub 59 as well, so consistent from these two. But now into the final 2 rounds. There is a 3/10 difference.
It's 0.25.
Yeah, 0.25.
It's a quarter of a second.
A quarter of a second between both these players and Glory. For Carl, if you lose the 10th and lose the 10th, it's okay. That's what's been happening in the last couple of rounds. For Grenady, you just got to find that 5 extra speed from somewhere, a slightly better drift. the no slide is still a possibility. We haven't seen either of the players go for it, and obviously, if you're unpracticed on it, it can be your downfall. Once again, though, Carl Jr. out to a small early lead, a couple of hundredths, his advantage. This drift, Grenady has been catching back up, but Carl plays it well this time. Grenady with a little bit more speed coming over the jump means that he will overtake going into that bobsleigh section.
He does, and where does Carl end up afterwards? He has a nice exit there, more speed on the grass, and a perhaps slightly worse setup into the dirt. Grenady pulling away a little bit too close to Carl, just a car length between them. Grenady 200 or so ahead of the checkpoint, and he has to gain 2/10 in total in these last rounds. He will be in first towards the can, and we are going to come up to the last round. What is the difference between these two competitors going to be? The final bounce, Grenady gets it good, and he will chip away. It's 1700ths from Carl Jr. Grenady needs to gain 1700ths, and there is a trick on this map that does that.
I mean, that 100% is. The problem is, Grenady has not won a map by 1700ths in this final, in this showdown. He was being in the position to do it because Carl messed up a corner. The question is, can Grenady find it? 2/10 between him and Glory. For Carl, all he needs to do is be Mr. Consistent. All he needs to do is hold the line. Grenady looking down his first major title. And Carl makes a mistake. Grenady takes off. 2/10 ahead, his advantage now as he comes through the checkpoint. 2.5.
It's what he needs.
Enough. Carl, can he fight back? He's done it so many times before into the dirt jump. Now through the bobsleigh. It's 3/10 now for Grenady. The German can taste it on the cusp of victory. Grenady now has half a second.
Low speed, low
Carl,
speed.
is he going to be able to catch us back up? As you say, low speed for Grenady means it's 4/10. But Carl does have more speed coming through this corner, and he begins to catch up just a little bit. Grenady now looking for the drift towards the right. 4/10 still the advantage for Grenady. A final couple of corners between him and Glory. A final couple of corners. One jump between him and victory. Grenady sees it. The trophy is alive. Unstoppable, indomitable. It's Carl Jr. in the final moments that claims the trophy.
The final bounce, the very final obstacle. This is why they turn around, because the hitbox of the spoiler hits that tile a little bit better, and that is so unfortunate for Grenady. It was right there, but he doesn't get the push towards the can. Carl Jr. wins Red Bull Faster, the first edition, and he keeps his throne as the GOAT of the game.
Just so often you get close to Carl, but you don't overtake him. So often you get within 1/10 of him, but you don't overtake him. And once again, it's Carl who takes the victory. It's Carl who will raise the trophy, and you can see the players talking about it.
I can't believe it. He can't believe it either.
Like, Grenady had the lead, but it's Carl who, in the end, went through the finish line first.
You can't make this up.
Yeah,
it's
really
crazy.
can't.
It's a crazy ending to a tournament, and it's Carl. I don't think likes even winning that way because he feels Grenady got robbed.
Oh, sure, I get it, right? Grenady was in the lead, and then the bounce was just unfortunate. It does happen, and that's, as you say, why people turn around for that bounce.
It is incredible what we're seeing here. Carl is taken in the front stage here, but still, he played a fantastic match overall. He had the 3 map wins early, and he gets his 4th here.
I want all of you here in this lovely arena to help me on the count of 3 to get Carl Jr. to raise this incredible trophy as the first ever winner of Red Bull Faster. Are you ready? Yeah. Come on, give it to me a bit more there. Are you ready? Woo! All right. 1, 2, 3. Once more. I mean, they call you a GOAT for a reason, or the GOAT for the reason, right? You know, understandable. I mean, just unbelievable performance for you. You are now the only person in the world, by the way, to have this trophy. How does it feel?
It feels good. It feels good, but it's weird to win on a bug, man. Like, I don't know. Grenady had me, and he had the most unlucky bug in the worst round. I feel really good about winning, but I also feel really weird about winning that way. But we did have a sick 1v1. With the full pressure, we went till the last round, and really props to Grenady, how he came back. So.
Yeah, Carl,
Virtually now as well.
it was incredible emotions for us up there at the balcony, casting the match, and incredible scenes down to the last round. And I want to hear your opinion now also on the format overall, your experience playing this tournament. Is it something you want to see more of? And just talk us through like your entire experience with Red Bull Faster.
It's been amazing. Like, I don't have anything to say, but of course when I win, everything is amazing, right? So I might be biased, but no, the format was sick. Everything here was so good. The competition was there, and yeah, everything was super amazing. Like, congrats.
Congrats indeed. Congrats to everyone. Why don't you come stand in the middle, actually? You're the star of the show here. Well, I guess we're going to wrap things up then. It's been a nice, long, beautiful day. So we just want to say thank you to all of you who are here with us. You've been absolutely sensational. You've really helped to bring this competition to life. A big thank you to Red Bull. A big thank you as well to Egon by AOC and to Nadeo. And to Medic, who's still up there on the balcony. Give him a nice shout out as well. And bow down to this man too. Any final words from you?
Yeah. I want to thank everybody who made their way all the way to Milton Keynes to see this. I want to thank Red Bull and especially Chris from Red Bull for contacting me about this project. It's been something we worked on for over half a year, so it's all culminated in this final, and it's really cool to be able to bring something like this to my favorite game, meet all the favorite players and the best players in the world, have them all come here and play the game we all love. So thank you to everyone who made this possible. Thank you to Aegon by AOC, the sponsors as well, the fantastic monitors we played on. And let's hope that we can do something like this again. This has been amazing. Thank you, guys.